gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Monday, November 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 83 in hour one of today's show. We'll recap LSU's loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we'll look at the top games across college football. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Dude, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Oh, well. What a sad bunch of boys and girls we are this morning. Monday, November 11th, 2024. And as if it's some sort of warped Groundhog Day that transcends regimes, even though it's no longer Nick Saban, here you sit with a Monday post first week of November feeling that is all too similar. Your season coming to a head against the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you not just losing, but laying an absolute egg. You got your butt kicked this weekend in every single way. And in fact, it's one of those games, Jake, there's the old saying, it's never as good as you think it is. It's never as bad as you think it is. Rewatching this film made me realize, no, it actually was worse than I thought it was. Dominated physically, dominated mentally, dominated from a game planning standpoint, from an execution standpoint. This was as embarrassing of a loss and as frustrating of a loss as you will have as a player, coach, or fan. And now it means that not only that you put Alabama over, and now they're feeling good, and they're rolling, and maybe going to make the college football playoff, but you are eliminated, and you have to try to pick up the pieces, show some resilience, and figure out what in the hell has gone so wrong these last 6 quarters of football, and can you fix it and avoid collapsing down the stretch? It just hurts, man. It hurts, and unfortunately, it's a script that is all too familiar, as I said. Jake, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Yeah, doing good. Weekend didn't go like any of us wanted to, and we'll break it down from every angle. And like you said, obviously there's moments in that game that changed a lot in that game, and we'll point to all of those. We'll talk about game plans. We'll talk about, coming off a bye week, all those situations, what you have left. It's not going to just be easy victories. You got to go on the road to Florida this week. And so, yeah, the playoff is not right now, something that you can achieve, but doesn't mean you can pack it in. So a lot to kind of get to here this week for what LSU did last week and then what they have left on their schedule.
Yeah, look, it's not that the playoff is not this week something you could – the playoff is done. The playoff is done, right? I mean, that's 1,000% done. But that doesn't matter. I mean, again – what sort of resiliency are you going to show? What sort of team are you going to be? And I think, and we'll get to these kind of larger 1,000-foot view conversations, but I do think it's especially important for the Kelly era to prove to have that resilience and figure out a way to finish this season strong and overcome 2 losses in a row and what has been just a god-awful 6 quarters of football in a row. Alondra, what's up? How's it going? You did a great job with the Bama is Burning sign on game day. Unfortunately, it appears that it is us who are actually on fire.
Yeah.
but your execution of the plan was much better than anything we witnessed Saturday.
So I think it would have obviously been a lot better had we have won that game.
Yeah.
But I have zero regrets about doing
No,
that.
you executed. Look,
Like,
you came out with a plan and you executed it.
Yes.
Something LSU football failed to do.
yeah.
So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It was fun. College game day is fun. I had never done it before.
I've still never done it.
Yeah, it was good.
One day I will. Taylor, what's up, man? How you feel? And I did go to campus this weekend, though, because there's an 07 tailgate reunion of sorts, and the vibes were impeccable.
Yeah.
The vibes are so high on campus.
Vibes were lit on campus.
And
I was told to tell you as soon as I saw you that you got crushed by Dr. Smith.
Smitty. They did. They had bongzillas, which was like a 6 or 7 spoked beer bong.
Yeah.
And so the first time we did it, I had a jammed up pipe, so the beer literally didn't come out. So of course we was like, ugh. So like, all right, let's just chug a beer then. And I mean, I could have taken a nap, woken up, shaved, and gotten ready for the game after I finished mine by the time he was done. So no, I ain't gonna listen to any of that crap. But the vibes were impeccable. You know, we're out there smoking Bocock cigars, drinking beers, having fun. Everybody's feeling like, okay, it's going to be a fight tonight. And that's the most disappointing part. In the end, it wasn't even close. It's okay to lose, but to get embarrassed at home like that with those stakes, in my opinion, without a doubt, the low moment of the Brian Kelly era thus far at LSU. Taylor, what's up, man? How we doing? At least the Cowboys made you feel a little better Sunday, huh?
No, actually not really. They made me feel all that much worse. The good news is, T-Bob, it's not just Dak, it's also Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. So I don't like any of the Cowboys quarterbacks, so at least that was confirmed for me. Only bright spot of the weekend, my job on game day is to tweet out the highlights and the big plays for LSU football, and I had a really easy night on Saturday. Didn't really have to do anything, so that was a positive.
You missed one thing, though, there, Tay-Tay, just like LSU, lack of execution. You said only bright spot of the weekend, and yet you watched a Cowboys game in which the brightness played a key role. The actual bright spot is Jerry World, the sun coming through, a complete lack of blinds, just as Jake said. They should maybe call our friends over there at K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZBlinds.com. Jerry, what's up? We got the inside track. You need somebody, okay? Like we always tell you, it's not just aesthetic. It's functional as well. You want to keep the sun out of your star receiver's eyes and make sure that they can catch the touchdowns that you need to win the game. You go to K to Z. They're going to have a plan for you in 15 minutes. And I always tell you, it's all price points. Okay, Jerry? We got you, man. K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZBlinds.com. Upgrade your home today.
I will say it also calls Jalen Hurts to throw a pick in that same game. So I guess it's a little give and take for Jerry. That's all he cares about anyway. So
taketh away. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started with a film review.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
That's right, Tiger Labor and Staffing. If you need reliable local staffing solutions for warehouse, construction, and manufacturing positions, and whether you need help with temporary labor or long-term hires, Tiger Labor and Staffing has you covered with skilled, dependable workers. Remember, we up early in the morning, interviewing and dispatching in person every single morning at 5 a.m. So we personally vet your work first, solve all of your staffing needs. Again, whether short or long-term, Tiger Labor and Staffing. All right, Jake. I'm going to say what I feel I saw on film here. I think you saw an Alabama team that, quite frankly, looked bigger, faster, and stronger than you. And we kind of knew this was the case coming in, right? The tagline that I created was, I think Alabama's the better collection of players, but I think you're like the better team. Well, I don't think that ended up being the case at all. I think they looked bigger, stronger, faster, and I think you got out-coached from a scheme standpoint and from an execution standpoint. I felt like Alabama players were put in great positions to succeed on both sides of the ball. You were not. And so when you combine that with the talent advantage, you kind of get what you witnessed. I also think you have a quarterback in Garrett Nussmeier who, a lot of times you go the way the team does of the quarterback. You have a quarterback that's going through it a bit right now. You can see doubt creeping in, kind of hitching or hesitating on throws that he was ripping in the past. Even your short stuff, your quick hitters, when you're trying to run screens like they were, little swing passes and whatnot, throws a little behind, throws a little here, throws a little there. And yet, despite all of this, it was still 14-6 late in the second quarter, and the defense comes up with a turnover on downs, and you have the ball in your own 40, great field position, 3:37 left in the half. You get the ball after halftime. You are perfectly set up to have a 2-for-1. And this is your offense, right? Like the other thing we talked about before the game was I think the defense could play well enough to set you up. But look, the offense is the strength of your team. Top 5 group in the entire country the majority of the year. The defense could set you up. The offense would have to win you the game. And so although the offense have been awful by this point, it's still 14-6, 3 minutes left. You're going to get 2 possessions in a row. The strength of your team was set up. And then what do? Critical error, awful pass pro, bad ball security, fumble. 2 plays later, it's 21-6. And in my personal opinion, even though we can get into the second half drive, that was the game right there at that moment. And it's indicative of all these large mistakes that were made throughout the game. There's that turnover. There's the pick in the drive to start the second half. There's the face mask when it looks like after that pick, you're going to go 3 and out, and then they end up scoring and make it 28-6. It's time and time again, mistake after mistake after mistake. And you're just, again, when you're playing a team as good as Alabama, that is a recipe that begets the disaster that you saw on Saturday night.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments, certainly, and you've laid out some of those where you had an opportunity and the game was still a game, and the game wasn't out of hand, and you didn't take advantage of any of them. Like, not some of them, like any of them. You didn't take advantage of any of the moments that you had, and the defense did get off the field. And then when you immediately give it back to them, that's just too much sudden change.
Yeah.
Think of the emotion that it takes to, get them off the field, 4th down stop. You're using everything that you have within that moment. And then 1 play later, after you're barely putting your butt on the bench, it's like, no, get right back up because you got to go right back onto the field. And I'm still not sure what in the world was going on in the protection there. You got DJ Chester patrolling the area and not touching
the worst
anybody.
Visual of all time. You got the airplane arms. You never want airplane arms, young lineman, okay? Just sitting there flying while somebody's rolling right by you. I mean, they obviously called Mike left, but I don't understand what is so in the protection that there was nobody. Like, how was he not accounted for?
Yeah.
In some way. It's unbelievable. I don't know.
Yeah, and even, in your count, if you're still going, Mike to the left, like you still, like if nobody's threatening you got to be able to work your way back. You don't do that. And then, Nuss has poor ball security in that moment. Like the rollout left thing that he does, like that just, it doesn't work in the SEC. People are just too fast. I know he got it one time and he was able to escape and make a play. That's really tough to do. It's just not, it's not a recipe for success. No plan for cover 0. That was shocking as well. Kane Womack threw it at you about, I think I charted 8, maybe 9 times.
Just manipulating you into swing passes. They're in these short hitters that they're completely ready for every single time.
Yeah, and those swing passes didn't do anything all night. There was 2 that, running back's lucky that he didn't have to come off the field.
Yeah,
I mean, for a concussion. I mean, those were, as soon as the running back's hands touched the ball, you had a Bama defender right there. So, like, those are the surprising things were some of the things that Alabama did. It was a good game plan, but you never made the adjustment to their adjustment from the bye week. Like, and I heard, I think you were talking on something, I saw AA Muggs, and that's what they did. And then they played cover 0 off of it sometimes. Sometimes they dropped those guys, and they did it consistently. And if you come out of a game and they hadn't really done that. But we talked about it last week, like expect something like that.
You knew they were going to target Mabinga Why would you not?
Yeah, and
it's a glaring Achilles heel of a weakness going from Garrett Dellinger to Mbinga,
yeah,
and you felt it.
And his
throughout
pass
the game.
protection was incredibly poor throughout the game.
Yeah,
and
run blocking. It's not even on him. It's just
yeah.
it's a weakness that you, like Jake said, you should have been. Ideally, I don't know. Maybe you just can't. Like, it was such an obvious weakness they were going to try to exploit, and you did not look prepared to handle how they exploited it.
Yeah, and they showed it in the first half. I'm talking about double A mug and cover zero, and cover zero. You're gonna have man across the board. If you pick it up, you're going to have opportunities, and just never made an adjustment from the first half when they showed it to the second half when they still were running it against you. And so, I mean, it was a game where it looked like one team for 2 weeks prepared, and then one team didn't have anything ready to go. And then certainly once they figured out what it was, because anytime you play Alabama and however long they've been doing the bye week before it, you're going to see something you haven't seen. It's like, okay, well, how fast can you react to that thing? And Alabama did it incredibly fast, and you never did.
It's again, it's for what has been, I think, on the whole, a really fantastic year for this coaching staff. I feel like they've been kind of in the majority of situations. I feel like they've damn near maximized what this team is capable of. But if nothing else, they've made good adjustments. They put their players in pretty good position to succeed. As dominated as you got physically in this game, in a lot of ways, the coaches got just as dominated in a game planning and adjustment standpoint. And that is sorely disappointing, given that so much kind of narrative was riding on Kalen DeBoer versus Brian Kelly, right? We are here in the post-Saban era. It's their first matchup in that era. 2 weeks to prepare. Who will come out and look better and look more locked in? And it wasn't even particularly close at all. So, brutal disappointment. Still a lot to get to. If you want to give us your best takes, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. That's the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can hop in right there and keep it locked. We got more OTB coming up on the other side.
Off the bench.
Go to ColemanRoof.com. ColemanRoof.com is a website for Coleman Roofing and Construction, your most complete, reliable, and respected roofing company in all of Louisiana. Coleman Roof's been out for over 40 years, and they grew big enough to be able to handle any size job, commercial, residential, anywhere in the state. It's not just the roofs, it's the construction portion as well. So you have water damage, tree falls in your home, anything like that. They fix your interior, then fix the roof. How do you grow that large just by word of mouth? Because, again, you're reliable, you're respected, people love you. And now, here on OTB, we're so proud to be able to help to spread the good word. So, you need roofing, you want Coleman Roof, go to ColemanRoof.com today.
Yeah, and when you go to the website, you'll see residential and commercial, what they can do for you. I mean, the commercial building right there on the homepage gives you an idea of just how big of a project that they can handle over at Coleman. But remember, it is Coleman Roofing and Construction, truly a one-stop shop. ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink.
Let's get back to breaking down the film on Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, Jake. I have a couple. I want to ask you where you want to go here. I could ask you about your most frustrating moments from the call Saturday night, or we could have a Garrett Nussmeier conversation. Or if there's something else that you think should be top of mind here.
No, I mean, all right. The one thing to me that is frustrating, just being a former LSU running back and knowing that, for a long time, I get why it was a joke, but, a lot of people threw out the jokes because LSU was a running football team, played great defense. That's who they were. You needed a quarterback, and, that's true. You had to be better at the quarterback position. Now, when I was playing, we had great quarterbacks, and it was a great combination, I think, of the running and the passing game. But you go and you look at a game, and LSU, they ran for over 100 yards. I get that, and Caden Durham had a great 45-yard run or a stretch zone. But the problem for me is, you run that play, and then you only run it one other time in the game.
And it went well the other day. Or was that when you got the hold? It would have went well. But yeah, you only ran stretch outside zone a couple times. Yeah.
And when you run it, it's out of one pistol formation, and you got to have change-ups off of it. If you get in a pistol, it can't be that one run. Now, this run is something that you do really well. You go back and you watch the Arkansas game, they ran this a ton and had success with this run. These running backs right now that you have, they're good running backs, but they don't run the things that you've been running mostly the best. It's not what their strength is. I do think their strength is some outside zone, stretch zone, depending on how you want to label it, and allowing everything to go east-west until they decide to go north and south. You have a running back room that runs this play really well. Now, you don't want to fall into tendencies because every time you kind of motion back into pistol, that's the play that you're running. But it's you didn't see that but a couple of times, and it was successful. And I realized that you were playing from behind most of the game, but I'm talking about in the first half. And so it's just, it's frustrating not to be able to run the football at a place that you've always been able to run the football.
I mean, also, the offensive line sucks at run blocking. I will still maintain that they're actually okay. But when you run into a talented front seven, like Alabama has, it certainly makes it feel like you just flat out suck. I mean, I thought, look, obviously, you expect Mabinga to struggle in this situation, but I thought every man down the line got their ass kicked. I thought a play that was very indicative, Jake. 2nd and goal from the 5, you go tackle over. You put Will Campbell and Emory Jones next to each other to try to make a statement and say, okay, we're going to run this ball in, and you get it shoved in. I mean, you just there's no push. There's no push.
And you're
catching, it's
you kind of
high.
ran in the middle too. I thought with the formation, maybe you would test the edge.
I just don't. I mean, maybe that's another reason why you do stretch zone, because you don't get push off the ball.
When stretch zone, I mean, it's really like the push isn't the thing. It's just
it's angles. It's get him east-west, like you said, and then let the running back decide where he sees his shot to shoot north.
And I don't know.
But, I mean, the offensive line does – that's my most bitter disappointment of the entire year, and there is not a quote that has aged worse on the year than the one that we got the first week of the season when Will Campbell was talking about how we're going to run the ball. Believe me.
Yeah.
Because they suck at it.
I thought the right side played better in the run game than the left side. I thought the right side actually had more moments with Emory Jones and Miles Frazier in the run game.
I agree. I guess I was trying to take a little sting off.
And Campbell.
Because in my notes here, Will Campbell had an awful game run blocking. They look confused all the time too, Jake. Running up to the second level, kind of head in a swivel. Wait, what's my actual assignment? Like combo blocks that go to nowhere, linebackers being allowed to just run free in the hole. It's really bad. It was really bad on Saturday. And you're right about the right side. But of course, right? I mean, it's you still have Frazier and Jones compared to Mabinga and Campbell. And there definitely was that knock-on effect of, like we said, right? DJ Chester, who's been, your weak link, still not a bad weak link this year for the most part, but he's been the weak link grade-wise. What happens when you take away one of those veteran guards next to him? Is there a knock-on effect where now you have a new weak link and then you expose your old one a bit more? And I did feel that was the case as well.
So that was, certainly, again, just being a running back, like that's been frustrating and been something that just you're not used to seeing. And look, you can have the best of both worlds. And I know it's always tough to compare a team to maybe the greatest team ever, but like the balance of what you saw in 2019 of, you knew they were going to be able to throw the football and dictate the pace of a game there, but you still had a 1,000-yard rusher. You still had Clyde Edwards-Helaire who was going out there and, gosh, it was different things. It was ISO, it was power, it was zone, it was so many different things. I mean, so you can have both, but, I mean, the pace of this game, certainly, it's going to dictate you throwing the football more there, but it's just something that, continues to be frustrating because there's some success there in some of the scheme that they're running, and it's just not finding its way back to that enough to be able to make the difference.
Yeah, and it's just look, man, you get into a short yardage situation, just like this is one great way to judge it without having to get into any deep football analysis. Search inside yourself as an LSU fan. When LSU is in a short yardage situation, how do you feel? You feel awful. You feel anxious. You feel on edge. Will they get it? How creative are they going to have to be to get it? And actually, to be completely fair, you were not bad in short yardage situations in this game. Like, you got a couple big second, third and ones, fourth and ones, and whatnot. But how it feels is like you're always fighting uphill. It's never like third and one. Oh, okay, cool. Like the confidence you have. Okay, short. We'll get like how every time Alabama got to third and short, you knew they were going to get it. I mean, what'd they end up on third down? I think it was like 9 of 13, maybe 10 of 13.
On third downs?
Yeah.
They were 10 of 13. Yeah. You were 6 of 14.
Yeah.
But on fourth down, you were 2 of 3.
Again, 10 of 13. So much of that, too, because of Milroe's high level of execution. Jalen Milroe is fantastic in this game. His legs remain the biggest difference on the field a lot of times. But, so the run game offensively, a bitter disappointment. Maybe second or third on the laundry list of bitter disappointments, I would say, is like what you talked about, Jake. Defensively, I know it's very hard to stop Jalen Milroe. And I'm still trying to parse exactly like what your goals were defensively and how they went so poor. But to get dominated in the way, I mean, some questions, like sometimes, yes, it's just Milroe making a great play, being fast and everybody. But like other times, like, why is the end crashing down if there's not like a linebacker coming off his hip or something? It's like a zone read and the end's all the way inside and then there's just nobody there for the pull.
Now, I will say, like, his long runs, and I've kind of heard a lot of people talk about, like, you had no plan for the zone read. Those weren't zone reads. What Milroe was doing, Like the first long one that he had, it was like duo with the running back.
Yeah, where they
becoming the lead.
Yeah, where they.
It's kind of like a little bit of an ISO look too.
He just follows the back. Yes, you're expecting to pull and run, and then he just follows the back.
And once they figured out they had that, they ran a version of it. Like to me, it was almost like ISO blocking. You had two here, then you had the running back leading up on the linebacker, and Milrose just going off of his block.
Well, and I guess the play that I'm thinking of specifically as well was in the second half. And it's probably after you made the adjustment to this, so you're trying to crash, and then he does pull it in a more traditional zone read, and there's nobody there, and it's 28-6.
Yeah, he pulled. I think 3 of them is what I had charted there. But once they had success with the running back becoming the lead blocker, and they did it a couple of different ways. It was like a duo look. It was like a zone look, and you knew it was kind of like there was a 3rd and I think it was a 3rd and 9. I mean, we're in the booth, and we're like, all right, well, here comes the play where the running back's going to become the lead blocker. He's going to be the extra blocker, and it's going to be a Q run, and here it comes, and he walks into the end zone. So that was their plan for this game. They were going to come in, they were going to specialize, highlight that. Where we get the extra blocker, I'm not handing it off, right? Miller, Haynes, you're not getting the ball. You're going to become the lead blocker, and you didn't have the numbers. Like then it became you had one linebacker on 2 players. You had the H who became the lead blocker, and then, of course, you had Milrow who was the runner, and they used that, on all of their big plays except, I think, maybe one. They used a version of that. And the frustrating thing that's going to happen today when they go back and they watch this tape, because it's the second year in a row that you got beat by a singular player, and that's not to besmirch the other guys on offense. They didn't need them because the other running backs and quarterbacks that ran the football in this game ran the ball 36 times for 126 yards.
Yeah.
3.5 yards per carry. Now, both these backs coming into this game, Miller and Haynes, were averaging over 6 yards a carry each. And you held them to 3.5 yards outside of Jalen Milrow. So this is the second year in a row that a singular player has gone out there in individual performance and effort has beaten you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, so we've seen this LSU defense kind of growing in aggression throughout the year and getting better and better because of it, playing with more confidence. It was like it was almost like that older brother strength, right? Where you're the little bro. Okay, you've been in the gym, you're feeling good. You know, you've learned you maybe beat up a couple of kids your age. You're like, okay, I think I got him now. And then older bro shows up and you revert back to who you were at your worst. Like he sucked all the aggression, all the confidence out of this defense, and they were reacting, they were frozen, they're on their heels. The safety's awful angles were back, right? That was something that was prevalent at the beginning of the year, that had disappeared. And then Gilbert, Burns, Ryan, nobody was in position all night to make a tackle. It was again, Jalen Milrow took over this game. Jalen Milrow completely dominated the entire defense. Also, this offensive line felt like the best offensive line that you've played yet this year. I know the Alabama offensive line has been questionable at times this year, but I thought they executed at a very high level on Saturday. So I have some more questions to make defensively. We still have to talk Garrett Nussmeier as well. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go Tommies! Get the Tommies windows, doors, and siding. Tommy's Windows, Door, Siding. You need Hardy Plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows. You need any type of door, and it's all there at Tommy's. And explore some of those vinyl windows where it's like, it becomes an energy efficiency thing, where all of a sudden, your house is retaining that AC, retaining heat, whatever it needs to be. Better, you're saving money. It's just an investment that eventually pays for itself. But really, it's the people at Tommy's, it's the process at Tommy's, the integrity with which they conduct themselves. It helps to separate Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, which is why I always tell you, make them one of the bids on your project and let them prove it to you. Go to GEAUXTommys.com.
Yeah, you will see the difference clearly with Tommy's. Go to the website, check out testimonials of past clients. You can check out a gallery of work that they've done also in the community. But remember, they can customize your job to whatever you want it to be. Have them come out. They'll tell you exactly what they can do for you. Go Tommys.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
I am still living with your ghost.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
Look, we will get to the Saints beating the Falcons as well. Do not worry about that. But we do, first have to continue the autopsy of the disaster from Saturday. And it sucks because this is a game in which you absolutely got your ass kicked so badly, but it's not even a burn the tape game because you have to live in this tape and really learn from it. It was not fluky bad. You can clearly see the areas in which you did wrong, and you have to get better if you want to try to win these final 3 games. Jake, let's okay, I have a question for you. Is this, and again, everything with this Alabama offense, you can feel the pressure that Jalen Milroe exerts over the entire game, right? Because he sucks in so much focus that, again, like we said, it took the aggression out. It had people frozen in place. One of my questions is, Jake, what was LSU running defensively in order for Alabama to have so much success underneath? With all these swing passes, quick screens, everything else. Also, I should say this, In another kind of comparison point between the two quarterbacks, Milroe's throws on those balls were perfect every time. He was leading guys exactly right. They were able to catch it and run. If you look at Nuss's, it was not. It was behind. You're twisting, whatever. But why did it feel like all those underneath checkdowns were so wide open all night long?
I mean, LSU was just running what they've run. I would say they're probably in cover one half of the game, maybe even a little bit more than half the game.
Well, the angle route killed you a couple times when you were trying to man up and that's the ultimate man beater route for a running back, right? Anybody who's ever played a football video game knows.
Or any level of football. It can be from pee-wee football to middle school football. Yeah, I mean a running back that sells the angle route, sells the flat, and comes back across. That's a very difficult route to cover for the linebacker. So, yeah, look, it was man across the board, single high safety. And, that's an aggressive coverage because you're trying to stop the run. And again, like outside of the Jalen Milroe stuff, like they held Alabama 36 carries, 126 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. But that's what it was. Like you had guys winning their individual matchups in coverage because you didn't – I mean – You played a little bit of cover three, you played a little bit of quarters, but for the most part, and again, I don't know if it was 60%, but it was definitely more than half the time. You were playing what you've played basically all year, which is single high safety man across the board.
I did also feel that they that at a time when you're talking about like the LSU offense, okay, you're in pistol, stretch zone is coming. Why aren't we building concepts off of that? Why aren't we running that more or out of different formations? I thought you really saw the difference maybe between a younger play caller in Joe Sloan and then somebody with the offensive mind of Kalen DeBoer and his staff because Alabama had you twisted up in terms of a lot of their horizontal movement, like we'll sweep it here this time, then we'll fake that. We're coming back with a screen the other direction. Like they had LSU looking the wrong way. It felt like from a scheme standpoint, getting outflanked as well as kind of outplayed at times.
LSU's defense, certainly like in the interior kind of, defensive tackle linebacker position as well, like in a physical game, and actually, I think that plays into their strength.
I would agree with that, yes.
Like, the Arkansas rushing attack is not built on speed. It's built on power, and you did really well in that game. I think when you start talking about the second half against A&M, obviously the 4 quarters against Alabama, right now, with what you have, it's a nightmare matchup for you. Because the linebackers that you have, like Penn and Weeks, and not as much for Witt, because I certainly think Witt is athletic.
Speed is not there,
but like they play within the hashes, and they are damn good at that. They really are. But like this matchup for them, because if you don't pair that with safeties that take great angles and safeties that can kind of make up some of that, this is what can happen to you. Yeah. It's not, so that's not to say, oh, it's bad. The matchup for them, based off the personnel that you have right now, is not going to favor you.
Again, that is one of the big disappointments here, though, is that they did just appear so much bigger, stronger, and faster than you. It's something that has got to change in the future if you're going to start winning this game. And I guess, Jake, now that we're talking about it, right, when you talk about sometimes getting outflanked with that speed, that's why that kind of that ISO or lead or duo, whatever you want to call it, they were running with Milroe up the middle where he's falling the back. That's one of the reasons why that becomes so impactful, because you're forcing them to like try to condense. Yeah. You got to find a way, and then bam, it's on the edge, and you're done. All right, let's do this because we haven't had the Garrett Nussmeier conversation yet. I want to leave us some time too. So we'll go to break, and when we get back, we'll close out the hour talking Nuss. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. That's the website. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge is the dealership. And, well, you get the deals. You can go online and look at some of the great deals we got going on, the 2024s and 25s. Great financing options available. to make sure that your family get at the best price, while also getting excellent things like Toyota warranty coverage, which, by the way, when you buy a Toyota certified used vehicle, you still get that excellent warranty coverage, only it's at a great price, right? So whether you're looking to buy new, used, lease, rent, it's all there at All Star. And remember, the body shop and service center is open to all makes and models, where you can take advantage of great lines of communication, free estimates, quick turnarounds, shuttle services, all that at All Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Yeah, go to the website today and you can see what you can do buying new, leasing, and always renting. And the rental department right now, per day rental prices, everything available, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what
Welcome in to the best morning sports-ish show around. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, y'all, welcome back here on OTB. All right, let's talk about Garrett Nussmeier, Jake. Right now, I think you have a quarterback that is going through it. And it's no surprise that his kind of downfall directly coincides with the team's. It's pretty insane to think about the last 90 minutes of LSU football, where at the end of that first half of Texas A&M, LSU's like, everybody's like, oh my God, LSU's like actually like a legitimate playoff team. Garrett Nussmeier may be the best quarterback in the entire country. He had just thrown for 250 in the first half against A&M.
Yeah.
Everything was working out. And since that moment, everything's gone badly. And it's not just the very clear moments, right? The picks, that's very clear and obvious. But all over this film, Jake, there's throws that he was making earlier in the year that he's missing now, or he's hitching or hesitating. You can tell that these mistakes, these interceptions, whatever they be, they have caused that most dangerous of contagions to start to creep in, doubt. He is at his best when he grips it and rips it, with full confidence. And right now he looks like a man doubting himself, and it's causing everything to not work and everything to look worse. Again, even the underneath throws, like I said, fading away from contact, which is something that I hesitate to criticize too much, right? Because he's done it kind of his entire career. And a lot of times he still can make the throw, but it still seems like there's sometimes like, man, step into that and it's kind of falling away, throwing on the back heel. It's just, he looks like a first-year starting quarterback that was really, really hot and now is going through, because a season is never just like a consistent climb. There's always going to be ups and downs, and he is absolutely in the valley right now.
Yeah, and for a first-year quarterback, even, he's been here a long time, but still, this is the first time that this is his team. Like, it was surprising in a good way how well he was handling being that guy.
Yeah.
Even though he had been here as a veteran player, he hadn't had a lot of plays. He's been around. And I thought USC game, like from the very get-go, he was really, really good. And, there's some things also, like quarterback's always going to, get all the praise and all the blame as well. Like, there's some things that you can kind of understand maybe why some of this is happening. The fumble, like the free rusher right up the middle.
Not his fault.
That wasn't one time. That didn't just happen one time. And so then you start to see ghost a little bit. And then you start to anticipate bad things and not good things. And then as a quarterback, and look, I never played the position, and we can ask Matt on Wednesday, but as a quarterback, like those things play into your mind. Right? And
yes, it's not all on him just being like, he's not getting the help, absolutely. But he was overcoming that.
He was.
Earlier in the year.
And at this point right now, he's not. He is not. And so the second interception, your receiver falls down. Okay, the first one, those are things you just don't expect from him. It was zone. It was always zone. And he got fooled. He thought it was going to be man coverage. And honestly, that's one that you would expect him to be able to read 10 out of 10. You really would. Like, that's the kind of processor that he has been. And it's those mistakes in those moments that were not happening at the beginning of the season. And look, those are going to fall on the quarterback. They certainly are. And you're right. There's some throws right there that he was making, certainly on the sideline. Like, there's some throws outside of the hashes that he was making at the beginning of the year.
He was hitting in the beginning of the year. I mean, the one that should have been a pick that Aaron Anderson made a great defensive play on.
You got to rough the passer, but yes, Aaron Anderson became a DB.
That's a throw that he made.
Early in the year.
Multiple times earlier this year. And he kind of hits it, and he throws it late, and it goes over, and it's just off.
So as a quarterback, again, like, you have to have a different mindset and mentality. So first drive of the game, right? You have the play that you want. You get everything you want. Kyron Lacey's open. You throw it in there. He drops it.
Yeah.
Like, those are things that you have to be able to clear out of your mind. Because you're talking about some of the hitching stuff that happens there. Like, again, never played the position, but I would assume it's because, okay, man, it's that same window. I can fit it in there, but, is he going to come up with the catch or whatever it might be? So it feels like I think the confidence level in those around him as well has gone down, and it's forced him to try to do something that he's not. He's playing outside of himself right now, and that's why I think you have him off.
Well, and I think too, something that is really hard, but I think I think it's really easy for us to appreciate, Jake, is when you throw a couple picks where you just didn't see the guy, all of a sudden your trust in yourself is eroded, right? Because, like, when you throw picks where you're like, oh my, wait, what? Why was he there? Then you can no longer grip it and rip it because you're not trusting yourself or your reads anymore. Because, like, well, if that happened then I got. So now when I look, I'm double checking. Okay, who's all there? And it's that little tenth that ends up making all the difference in the world. I think I will say this, though, dude. Like, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The Nuss takes that I'm seeing in chat right now, and that really I've just heard whispered about over the weekend or talked about, I think are reactionary and go too far. Like a second ago, was like, this guy's been here forever. You got to stop talking about him like he's a first-year player. Okay, Jaden Daniels had started 3 years of college football when he had his first year at LSU, and look at how much different it was between year 1 and year 2 starting here. Joe Burrow had been in college football for 3 or 4 years, and look at the difference between year 1 and year 2 starting. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Age is age, but there's nothing like experience. So, yes, he may be an upperclassman, but it is still a first-year starter, and I think there is still a ton of good there. Now, we can have a conversation on dual threat, pocket guys, everything else, because the pocket quarterback in 2024 for college football is struggling a little bit, down a little bit right now. I mean, look at Carson Beck, others.
No,
right?
name one. Name one right now.
Rourke. There we go, dude. Signetti, the exception to every rule.
I mean, because that is certainly a conversation that we can have.
Yeah.
Because a true pocket passer right now
is struggling. Hour 2 coming up. We'll get the Saints talk. A ton of great points. Keep it locked.
Off the bench.
Go to Accutemp Baton Rouge, accutempbr.com, accutempbr.com. You go to Accutemp Baton Rouge today for all your AC, heating, and electrical needs. Take control of your comfort zone, guys, okay? Eventually, it's going to get cold, right? Did we just give up on the concept of winter? Like, I'm confused about this, actually, a little bit. I don't want to rant and rave about it too much during the live read.
Yeah, this was the hottest Alabama-LSU game, and I think in over 20-something years.
But, like, the thing is, I don't even now I think I'm getting worked up because I'm thinking about it out loud. Like, I never think about it anymore. I'm just like, oh, it's going to be hot again today. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, you still got to crank that AC. If it ever does change, you need to crank that heat, at least for a day or two. Make sure your system's good to go with Accutemp Baton Rouge. accutempbr.com. Service to the highest degree, and that ain't just lip service, guys. Go look at the reviews. Whole home generator, they're your answer. accutempbr.com.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Burtman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri.
What happened to me? Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, November 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 83. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll recap the New Orleans Saints' victory over the Atlanta Falcons and talk about some of the top games of the weekend. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
They said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jacob, Loundra, and Taylor hanging out with you today. It's a bad day. Takes are flying all over the place. Anger's everywhere. It's one of those times. You know, it's funny. My wife's a photographer. She said there is no worse day to be taking family pictures than the day after a huge, disappointing LSU loss. You just have hungover and angry parents and families. Just you know, smile. Okay? Everybody yelling at each other. And really, it's the whole city, man. It's the whole city. The vibes were immaculate at Don Juan, then they were awful. I mean, I'm sure the stadium was the same way. Can't believe the old Temu Tiger couldn't get it going. I'm not going to go into it too much again here. But that entire live Tiger thing, obviously it has nothing to do with the loss, but what a damn embarrassment. Beginning to end. So sad looking, so bad looking, so pathetic looking. Governor Landry, let's hope you can do better with your tax reform than you did with this stupid ass idea. This is such a bad idea that it has convinced me that you are a University of Lafayette plant to try to doom LSU, but whatever. God, that was, and then they like show the spotlight on it. Was there any crowd pop when they showed the Tiger at all?
No, I didn't really notice a crowd pop. Jake, did you? I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no type of fanfare.
I didn't know it was happening until, kind of well into it happening.
Yeah, and also like it was on the wrong side. Isn't it supposed to be by the opponent?
It
was by our sideline.
It was just awful. It was just such a bad. It was so bad all the way around. And hey, look, you know what? It was an omen. It was some foreshadowing for how the game was going to go, because that Tiger was about as uninterested as fans were in what was put on display Saturday night. I'm not blaming the fans. I'm not blaming the fans.
Were waiting. Yes. They sat in the rain, and they were waiting for something to cheer for.
We have said it a million times. I said it right. I said, bring it. Now, the team does have to give you something to cheer for, and they did not. In no way are the fans or in no way are they culpable, right? I just mean that the same laissez-faire that old Omar had was kind of how the entire game ended up feeling. Look, I mean, that spotlight is so sad looking. It just looks pathetic.
He was panting super hard too.
I
will say that I texted y'all after the Ole Miss game, and I was like, I had to raw dog this flight, and all I did was like replay the game in my head.
Yeah.
It was like 2 a.m, and I was texting my dad Saturday night, just stuff about the game. That's how much I couldn't stop. It was a different type of like, can't stop thinking about it, but it just,
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. It again, it is the low point of the Brian Kelly era.
Yeah.
Thus far. And I guess that's the next conversation, Jake, because it is very funny, right? Again, that's why I love football. It's a meritocracy. And your fortunes can change like that, all based on results, to where after Ole Miss LSU, Jake, oh my God, Brian Kelly's good. LSU's good. LSU might be a playoff team. Lane Kiffin sucks. Ole Miss is bad. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's never going to get there. Well, here we are a couple of results later, and Lane Kiffin's great. Ole Miss is great. Ole Miss is a playoff team. LSU is bad. Brian Kelly's the wrong man. He's never going to get there. Here's what I think on Coach Kelly right now. I think this is it's kind of like a lot of the takes that I see on him are kind of, I think, tinged with emotion. But my take is he is obviously a coach that has a very high floor, right? His processes are such that you are going to put together a very competent team. For the most part, you will beat the teams that you are supposed to beat. In fact, I still think that LSU wins these next 3 games and finishes pretty strong and finishes 9-3. However, there are now and should be major questions about what is the ceiling, because the theory coming out of Notre Dame was that Notre Dame was the ceiling, that it was a glass that he could not break through. Now you might need to start asking. I mean, here you have DeBoer in year 1 coming into Death Valley and doing this, and you're in year 3. You may have to start asking, well, was the Notre Dame the actual problem there? Because look at Notre Dame, right? Playing pretty good football, 1 loss. No, I never doubt the Irish's ability to maybe screw some up here down the stretch. Marcus Freeman's he kind of has the opposite problem where it's a smaller games that seem to trip him up. But you have a Notre Dame team ranked ahead of you that's trending towards a very obvious spot in the college football playoff. And here you are again kind of going through the same script. But again, it's not like it's an abject disaster. High floor, questionable ceiling, I think, right now in the Kelly era.
Obviously, like, the expectation for a place like this is to play for championships, right? And so that's why the expectation is always set so high, because you've won the second most in the last 25 years of anybody. More than Ohio State, more than Florida, more than Clemson, more than Michigan, Ohio State, whoever it is, right? Alabama's the only team that's won more in the last 25 years, and 3 coaches have done that. And so the expectation is set. And Brian Kelly talked about it, like, from the moment he got here. That is what it is. That is what it has to be. And so, like, there's places across the country where 9-3 is great. There's, they would love to have a 9-3 record. But when you look at what it is to what the expectation is going to be, like, that is going to be disappointing. Like, people aren't going to be happy with that. And once you get into year number 3, because what year would it have been was Saban been year 4? It had been year 4 for Coach Saban.
When he won the Natty?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2001, 2. Well, 3. Yeah.
It had been year 4. And then Les would have been 5, 6, 7. It was 3rd year for Les. Coach O was 17, 18, 19. Right? So, again, you're going to be graded off what those before you have done. 2 of them won it in year 3, 1 in year 4. And so there's not like, even though you take over a crazy situation, there's not going to be a lot of patience, right? And so that's going to be, look, it's going to be a conversation. That conversation is not going away. Now, you do have, big wins on your resume. I do disagree with that point. Like, Ole Miss is a big win.
Yeah, Ole Miss big win. You had a really big win 2 years. I mean, obviously the Bama win was massive year 1. Yeah, for sure. There's big wins.
But I think you pair this disappointing performance, and there's been 2 of these, Tennessee in 22, and then this game.
This is so much worse, though. But I agree. But I think this is way worse.
Because a lot of people take Alabama and obviously.
Well, Tennessee was earlier in the year. You didn't really know what you had. I mean, here it was very clear, right?
Yeah.
2 teams, playoffs on the line.
It's also the season opener
you lay an
situation
egg.
too. And that's not just, from it's 5, right? It's 5 years, so it's 2 coaches. But
yeah, if you beat USC this year, a bad USC team, you're
still
good.
in it.
Yeah, you're good. You're still very much alive.
So like that portion of it also kind of plays into a lot of people's anger, I think.
I think that how do we feel about, again, because I keep going back to just how much bigger, stronger, and faster Alabama looked. Or even in that South Carolina game, right? Like how their defense looks like to yours. Like they're through a mixture of recruiting, which probably goes back to some of the original sins of like getting rid of Corey Raymond and others only to come crawling back to them. The Matt House debacle, which caused NFL players to leave off of this defense instead of coming back. But like, I don't know if it's more recruiting or more strength and conditioning, but I do agree with the point made in the chat that A&M and Alabama just kind of, and Alabama to a further extent than A&M did, but they just look bigger, stronger, and faster. And again, like everything, it's not to say that it's a disaster for LSU, because I think there have been high points, like that UCLA game when every single human being in the stadium was dying. The only people who weren't were the LSU. Like LSU was fine; they were fine in that heat. But at a school that, like, even when LSU was screwing up in the Miles era, the thing that they started to cling to like a life raft was this idea of NFL LSU, where you still just had dudes all over the place. It does not feel like you do right now. Have said dudes. So would you say, I mean, is this more of a recruiting? Where do you think maybe the fault lies there?
You're talking about just like depth, where you can have an offensive line issue and it doesn't handcuff you like this one
I
has.
didn't talk about that. I mean, that I would say that's definitely a recruiting / talent retention deal. That yes, that like this is almost not. It's not quite as disastrous, but losing Garrett Dellinger almost felt like losing Eric McCoy for the New Orleans Saints. Like one player that really changes the entire makeup of that side of the ball.
Yeah, I think the retention part of it, certainly we talked about that throughout the offseason. There's 3 defensive tackles that I think we all assumed were going to come back, and they're not here. Like that, there's a portion of that. And you're always going to lose a Malik Neighbors, a Brian Thomas Jr. Like those guys were always going, and they should have gone to the NFL draft. But that's a portion of it. Like how many guys can you have come back? Like Glenn Dorsey could have gone to the draft in 2006, but he came back in 2007. Like those are massive whenever you win those battles. Like even in a transfer portal era when it's easier to get veteran players, those are big. And how many of those guys can you convince? And then what also do you do in the transfer portal? How active do you want to be? When you have a deficiency, how all in do you go? Right? I mean, there's teams across the country that have gone all in on the transfer portal because they were deficient. They had deficiencies. Now, there's some teams that did that and they're not good teams, so it doesn't always work. I mean, today's roster management is unlike we've ever seen before, and you've got to come up with the formula that gives you, frontline starters, but also depth. And depth right now, you're even seeing it at Georgia. Georgia doesn't have the depth that they've always had. No. Typically, Georgia can have an injury, and they roll in another 5-star guy that's ready to play. It's been waiting for 2 years. Well, that guy's not there anymore.
Yeah.
That guy's somewhere else. And so, like, when even they have an injury, and it's who can get enough depth. Like, Ole Miss did a really nice job in the portal. They went and got a ton of offensive linemen, and they retained all their offensive linemen.
True.
So they got 11 guys that they feel like are starters because 11 of them have starting experience in the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't happen everywhere, but that's one example of what we're talking about. It's hard to do in this day and age, but you got to stack talent because you can't just be – this isn't the NFL where you can have an injury and it's like, okay, we can still go get a guy that's NFL quality from either another team or somebody that's maybe out of the league 1 year and we're like, hey, we just got to get this guy back in.
Yeah.
You can make up for it. Like once your roster's set, even with all the movement that we have, the roster's set.
Yeah, there's no way. I think Kelly said that after the game, right? There's no waiver wire. So I think that would be. I think year 4 is the absolute final stand for the excuse of you took over a god-awful situation. I'm even willing to extend grace through this year because of how extreme the lack of scholarship players was when you took over. And again, I don't, if you're telling me I shouldn't even extend to year 3, I don't think that's a valid argument to be made, right? We live in the era of the portal, like Jake's getting at. Like, you can solve these things, right, with correct scouting and recruiting. So maybe but I'm someone who kind of probably always errs on the side of giving more rope than maybe others would. But yeah, next year, if you're not back to feeling like you got dogs all over the field, if you're not back to being able to push people around a little bit, then you might just have to call it is what it is. All right, we're going to get to the Saints next, Jake. Where do you think LSU goes from here?
Look, you got a trip to Florida. Florida's not good. Florida just got hammered by Texas. It's a series in which you have dominated. It's on the road. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You have to, go to Gainesville. You've got to be victorious because in the final 2 games, those are teams that have enough to beat you as well. Like, Vanderbilt is still, in the problems that you've had stopping running quarterbacks, they're going to have one that's going to have a plan for you. Even Jackson Arnold, he's got some dual threat ability against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Honestly, the bare minimum's got to be 9-3. Like, you have to have
8-4 is a disaster.
8-4 is a disaster. 9-3 with a bowl victory, I think.
It's a stay of not really stay of execution.
No, it gives you,
but essentially,
it gives you okay.
Yeah.
All right, now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does that recruiting class finish in the top 5? What do you have through the transfer portal? Who can you retain? Then you can answer those questions.
I know results don't matter in recruiting, but what a sad state of affairs for Pickett, Underwood.
More.
And I know you're going to try to spin it and be like, oh, well, that's why we need you. But that's the Tiger. Oh, yeah.
Bryce Underwood's a giant.
Yeah.
I saw him. I talked to him at the basketball game for a little bit yesterday. And, look, I know I'm not a tall fella, but I was sitting up on the step, up from him, and I was eye to eye with him. He's a large human.
Jeez Louise.
But, it kind of goes back to the conversation that we were talking about earlier, with dual threat quarterbacks compared to pocket passers.
Which we can let's have that conversation a little bit. Is it true? Was Will Campbell the lowest graded player on the team, Saturday?
No.
Okay.
He was not. I know Hunt and the station Twitter stole our idea of Pro Football Focus grades, but he was not.
All right.
It was Mubinga. Well, Campbell's second.
Well, yeah. So Mubinga basically shouldn't count, though, because, you have a redshirt freshman making his first start against Alabama. That's crazy that Will Campbell would be second. But that does reflect what I saw in the film, so. All right, when we get back, let's talk about the Saints. We had a good victory yesterday for the Black and Gold. The Rizzler era, off to a great 1-0 start. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. You need a custom pool. You need a spec pool. You need any size type of fence. You want outdoor kitchen, outdoor living area, pergolas, bulkheads, anything, putting greens, turf. Look at. If you're watching online, look at the gallery. Look at the options. Okay, these are the experts. Functional, beauty, spaces for you to build lifelong memories at. Because that's what we do. We build spaces. You build the memories. All of a sudden, your kids, their friends, everybody wants to be at your house, okay, under your roof. That's a good feeling. You can get that with Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com.
Yeah, when you go to the website, you'll see an overview of, a little bit of everything that they can do. Pools, outdoor living spaces. You see 2 different types of fence because they can do any kind of fence. Bulkheads, artificial turf. They can do it all at your home, at your business, PECbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is...
Back to sports talk. Maybe. Off the bench.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. T-Bob, Jake, Alondra, and Taylor hanging out with you today. Okay, well, I think we said our piece on LSU, Alabama, guys. Look, this is a classic one snap and clear here, you know? You cannot, because right now you are teetering. You've had 90 minutes of god-awful football that erased what was a couple of months of really hard work. And how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to pack it up and go home? Or are you going to find a way to process, come back, and finish? That will tell you a lot about the future of the program. That'll tell you a lot about the character of this team and about Coach Kelly and everything that we just talked about. But speaking of new eras, well, I give LSU's performance a big doom on Saturday. I give the Saints boom, boom, boom. That's right. The Rizzler. The Rizzler era off to a big one, doing exactly what we said, right? The interim bump, timing up perfectly with the Atlanta Falcons game. Now, let's be clear. I still don't think I want the Saints to win another game after this, but I wanted them to win this one on Sunday. And the boys found a way. It's funny. They made a lot of the same mistakes that they have made in these games that they have ended up losing. But for whatever reason, call it new leadership and inspiration, like whatever have you, despite making some of the same mistakes, they made the winning plays in the end. And that was the thing that I don't know exactly how to quantify or talk about, but that was the problem in the Dennis Allen era, is you would do a lot of the good stuff to set yourself up, but you can never come through with the winning plays. And whether it's the Tyrann Mathieu pick, Chase Young finally coming up with a sack forced fumble there at the end. I mean, hell, like, again, you made the losing plays, right? Alvin Kamara has the dagger touchdown in his hands on third down. He drops it. He calls it the lamest football moment he's ever had in his entire life. But what did you do? You stayed locked in. You reached down deep inside, and you still find a way to win that game in the end. So, again, I don't know what this year holds, but at least for one day in the Superdome, you beat the Falcons. You don't let him sweep. You don't let him walk into your trap and take over your trap. And if nothing else, in a season full of crap, just like the head coach's toilet, at least there was a bright spot there. And if you're not understanding that reference, apparently game day morning, Rizzy goes to the bathroom in his new locker room, the head coach's room, goes to the bathroom in the new locker room and clogs the toilet immediately off the bat. Some would have called that a bad omen. You know what Rizzler said? He said, no, I'm going to overcome this adversity, just like this team is going to overcome any crap that clogs us up along the way later that day. Great job, Rizzy. I did love seeing the passion on the sideline, to be fair. I know it sounds like I'm being tongue-in-cheek, but I loved his passion, and I do think the team fed off it.
Yeah, it did. Like, when they won, it did feel like Peyton Turner shoved him, like, a little too hard. He's like, hold up, man. Like, I'm old, man. You're in full pads. You're a giant. Get off me. It was, you know. And, look, the Saints are playing with guys that, like, you got to be deep into fantasy. You got to be like Tay-Tay levels of fantasy football to even know who some of the guys are.
Well, I mean, what's one guy's first NFL game? He's been out of college football for like 3 years. I guess he's been bouncing around on practice squads and whatnot. Austin?
Like Pettis was a receiver.
Kevin Austin.
Kevin Austin Jr. had 2 catches for 36 yards.
It's his first NFL game in like 3, I think, ever, or in like 3 years at least.
It's been a few years for sure. At
like
least.
Dante Pettis is somebody like I know who he is. He's a second round pick. Went to Washington, but it's been a minute since I've seen him. Like, I thought he was done.
Yeah,
Bro, Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah,
it's all we needed was MVS this entire time. A little championship magic sprinkled on top of the Saints. Like, how the hell are you going to get a new receiver and then he comes up with a deep shot like that?
Well, I mean, Pettis hasn't played in the NFL since 2022, and he's out there catching passes, returning kicks for you. So, I mean, we talk about duct tape and super glue all the time here. This was duct tape and super glue roster, and it goes out there. Now, like, you played well against the Falcons in the first matchup, too. You should have won that game.
Yes.
Like, for whatever this defense does, it confuses this Falcons offense. So, like, because there was a lot of stats, like, Kurt threw for over 300 yards.
I was going to say, it feels like you were getting outplayed, but the Falcons just made all these, like, where there's missing field goal, just high leverage mistakes.
And a kicker that doesn't miss field goals either.
Yeah.
You had some fumbles. You had the interception from Tyron there. Bijan ran for over 100 yards. You had 2 receivers that were right under 100 yards for the Falcons, but it just felt like you had their number whenever you had to make the play, and it was good to see them actually celebrate, to enjoy victory from going out there and beating a rival. And I'm with you. Like, if I'm a Saints fan, I don't really want them to win too many games this year because you want to have a good draft pick and all those type of things.
Are we on the Shedeur Sanders bandwagon, guys, yet?
I've been on it.
Another big dub. No, I know you are. I'm more talking to Taylor and others here because there's a lot of haters out there, and the Coach Prime haters continue to suffer. But yes, Jake, anyway, I don't want him to win a ton.
Yeah. Because
don't worry. With this kind of roster, I mean, how can you not win games when you have Pettis and Austin out there?
That's true. But you're about to play like another bad team in the Browns.
Damn it.
And then you've got the Giants
still
on the schedule. You've got the Raiders still on the schedule. I mean, you're only 3 games back from Atlanta right now.
No.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, we ain't playing these games.
No, they would have to look.
Unless the Rizzler has Rizzler-level superpowers, the same way that little kid has captured the entire internet and pop culture world as a whole and is now making millions of dollars. If Rizzy indeed does have that sort of charisma, maybe that's the only way. But no, I'm not allowing myself to go anywhere beyond this Sunday. Enjoy this because you beat your arch rival. They don't get the sweep. They were parading up and down Bourbon thinking they were tight, and now the fans go home frustrated, sad, and mad, and you get revenge for what was a very frustrating, sad, and mad loss from earlier this year.
It's crazy. Think about where you're at right now. You're 3-7, and you feel like you've probably had a much worse season than Tampa Bay, like another rival in your division. They're 4-6.
I know. Isn't that odd?
I mean, they had a tough loss against the Ravens. They had a very tough loss against the Falcons, overtime, where they don't see the ball. Same situation against the Chiefs, tough loss, overtime, they don't see the ball. And then yesterday, they lose on basically like a walk-off field goal, 23-20 against the 49ers on, I believe that one was actually in Tampa Bay, but like that is, oof.
The takeaway here is if Taylor even has a tenuous connection to an NFL team, they just suck. Right.
This is very true. But
because he covers the Saints here, he loves Baker Mayfield, and he loves the Cowboys.
To Jake's point, we brought it up the other day when we were talking about it. Like the Bucs were 4-2 at that point, and I brought up their schedule, and I'm like, there's a chance they lose all 4 of these. They lost all 4.
Yeah.
Now, Bucs have a really easy schedule coming up, but they're banged up. No Godwin, no Evans. They lost Tristan Wirfs yesterday. Nobody knows how long. It was a knee injury at halftime. He didn't come back. I mean, if you're the Saints, like, I look at it, look what Derek Carr did with these receivers, and I get it. Derek Carr certainly has his own issues, but 269, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, 10.8 per attempt. He was not checked down, Charlie, yesterday like we had seen. And sure, Cousins throws for 300 yards, but like you rattled him when you needed to. You got the interception. You sacked him 3 times. Derek Carr was not sacked yesterday. So, I mean, like, I get it. They're 3-7, but try to make a run if you can. I know you don't want to.
Obviously you never set out trying to lose games. The players are not going to try to lose games. They're going to try to make a run.
Once the ball's kicked off, you don't even know what your record is.
Rizzy. I mean, look at the excitement these guys play with. They're professionals. And Rizzy's not going to try to lose games, obviously, right? I mean, what a great opportunity for him here as an interim coach. It's his first ever, a chance to prove himself as an NFL head coach. And we know he's an elite special teams guy, and you see multiple head coaches that are so whatever. But I just don't think they're good enough, right? I mean, even yesterday's game, huge credit to winning it and making the plays you needed to, but you probably got outplayed on the whole. Like in the same way that the Falcons were lucky to win that first one, it's kind of flipped for this second one. So. The fear is that, you manage to find something and then you just, you don't win anything that actually matters, but then you win too many games and you end up picking somewhere where you can't get a quarterback. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Maybe people do want to see.
I have no faith that the Saints would actually draft a quarterback either, though.
Oh, that's okay. True. Unfortunate, but true. I will say this, dude. This is coming from the number one Carfax believer. I still just hate his post-game comments that are all like, told you so.
Ew.
Quote, we really believed that we were a good football team this whole time. And I know, trust me, for me especially, that was a long 7 weeks. Like, is it ever going to end? But we never wavered in the work and we never wavered in the confidence of what it could be. But when you get punched in the face over and over again, it starts to hurt. Honestly, we have nothing to lose. They already fired our coach. We lost last week to a team that was in last place in our division. What else do we have to lose? I mean, just go out there and compete. I don't hate how he finished that. But then, I don't know, man. I still don't, whatever. It's Derek Carr. But yesterday was fun. You beat the Falcons. You avoid the sweep. That was massive. Now, I guess let's just see how the rest of this season played out. Alvin Kamara is still really good, too. For whatever that's worth. Like, if you can put this man with a team around him, Kamara can still be a star. I also did love seeing not just Cam Jordan get a sack yesterday, but Chase Young and Peyton Turner. I mean, that's a lot of things that you do. You've been waiting on all those all year long, and they all came together when you needed them.
You've been waiting multiple years for some of those.
Yeah.
Not just this year with Chase Young there. So,
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who knew the key the entire time? What do y'all think? Like, if you're a Saints fan out there, what do you want to see them do? Put your comments in the YouTube chat, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Recap college football as a whole. As well, coming up, get locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu. You call 225-267-8003, 267-8003. That's a number that lets them know that you came from OTB. And here's the deal, man. I would say that we live in a time of financial insecurity, and the opportunity provided by ITI has never been better in terms of 2 years to get that degree and be set up to have a career, not a job, but a career that can provide long-term for you, your family, everything. So get that better life with a locally owned trade school right here in Baton Rouge. Beautiful campus. Go tour it off of Airline, iticollege.edu.
Yeah, when you go to the homepage, you'll see exactly what T-Bob's talking about with that campus, but you should go see it for yourself. It is set up for your success. Schedule a campus tour today at iticollege.edu.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America, Off the Bench.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Adam Field says, I don't think Carr's thoughts are misguided. They're just poorly executed. He means well, but he's tone deaf to the actual pulse of things. Being courteous to D is one thing, but don't praise him. Yeah, he in the postgame, he was basically like, you already fired our coach. Like, shout out DA. He built this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, built what? But yes, I think that's well said, right? It's not, it's poorly executed, I would say, for sure. Welcome back. What do you want to do? Do we want to talk college football as a whole? Does anybody have any Saints or LSU thoughts left? Again, I know we're a bit quick on the Saints there, but it's such an odd situation where how much is there really to take away beyond it being a very good day? Like you said, I'm very impressed you didn't give up any sacks. Very impressed you got after Kirk Cousins. I'm very impressed defensively that you continue to stop what is a pretty good Atlanta Falcons offense. I love that you have now caused them the insecurity of, are we actually that good? Like, what a crucial loss to take. Is this going to affect us down the road? There's such major questions remaining about how much of what can you carry forward out of this game? And we've seen it time and time again. And maybe this is where Rizzy starts to write his legend. Now, I think Rizzy's in a tough spot, though, here, Jake, because even if he does very well over an extended amount of time here, you can't keep him, right? Because the whole idea is that you have to kind of hit reset. And if you were going to go the interim route here, unless maybe you don't love, unless he has an Antonio Pierce type finish to the season, I'm not sure. I guess that get more complicated. I just feel like it's a massive uphill battle almost regardless of the results, because so much of this has been about needing to completely hit reset out of the Peyton era, and so having anybody really connected to the regime in such a deep way right now would maybe be no, an impossible ask. Right?
Yeah.
So it's so what do we carry forward then? That's all I'm getting at. It's tough. It's a really tough spot for him to be in.
It is. And if it was, he'd have to completely clean house, for people that were there the entire time.
Yeah.
You got some people that are new to this year, but.
Yeah, Kubiak, right? I still feel like Kubiak's a good OC. And Rizzy is a great special teams coordinator. So it's those are two guys that you ideally wouldn't want to lose, but I'm not sure. Or maybe if you're doing the long-term rebuild, you do end up going that route. You kind of wait, you see what happens over a couple of years, and then you go move and try to get the guy, whoever the next big hot guy is. There's you know what? There's a million different ways you could play this. There's a million different ways this could play out. I guess what I was getting at is we all know that the interim bump is a real thing, at least for a week. But you know what happens after the interim bump? The vast majority of the time, the team falls off, right? And kind of turns back into a pumpkin, goes back into the team that got a coach fired in the first place.
Yeah.
And so if Rizzy somehow avoids that and makes this consistent, I would be shocked, and I would say credit to him. Again, I just don't know if it means anything too much long term.
And certainly if you're if you do end up drafting a quarterback, you're going to want a complete kind of new staff, I think, to welcome that quarterback if he's going to be your franchise quarterback. I don't know. OC is interesting because Kubiak's somebody that I would certainly say has not been given the best personnel to be able to go out there.
Or he just schemed up 2 MVS touchdowns on Sunday.
Yeah. You go 3 for well over 100.
Yeah.
Right. He's throwing passes to guys that have never played an NFL game and then guys that have been out of the league for 2 years.
And like I said, Kamara looks like AK again, right?
Yeah.
Especially when, there's any sort of threat there. The Taysom thing. That looked like a great touchdown at the beginning of that game before it got called back. Yeah. So, whatever, man. We'll see. All I know is yesterday was fun. Yesterday was fun, and that was good because right now you look around Louisiana, and it's a bit bleak, guys. It's a bit bleak. Saints seem really bad. LSU season now kind of done. The problem with LSU season, Jake, is there's nothing to win. There's only stuff to lose now. There's no there's no win that's going to make people happy. There's only losses that are going to make people angry.
Right.
And that's not a fun place to be.
No, you're going to have to be perfect because
and the Pelicans.
Oh, I did talk to CJ McCollum on the sideline of the game.
What?
The LSU Bama game. Had a great conversation with him where we just
CJ was there and we were embarrassing like that.
I know. Well, see, I saw Willie Green and CJ.
What? And then we went and did.
Yeah. Oh,
Man,
the sideline was the who's who.
I mean, we really just threw a party and then crapped our pants, dude. I mean, really embarrassing stuff, dude.
Yeah, I sat there and I was talking with him, and
No, you're good.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, he was so excited to be there too. Like massive college football game.
I can't. It's gonna make me even more.
He's talking about like
it's gonna make me more angry. Stop.
I introduced myself to him, and he's just like, man, yeah, I remember watching. He's like, not Devin, the other Hester. It was funny, and
well, he would be old enough for sure.
Yeah, and he was like, man, just love Louisiana, man. Yeah, it's been nothing but
We love
good
you too,
times for us. So yeah, I had a great conversation with him, and I'm sorry that that's the performance that we put.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Alondra?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, speaking of pants and the who's who on the sideline, can we
Okay.
talk about Leonard Fournette's pants that he wore?
Wait, can I see these pants? I did not see these.
Wait,
I
you-
missed this.
you didn't see them?
No.
Did you see
I
them?
talked to
Can
Leonard,
you-
didn't even notice pants.
Oh my gosh, can you pull up? Do you know what I'm talking about, Taylor? Did
Taylor,
you see it?
get us
just-
Leonard Fournette's
just find
pants
Leonard.
immediately.
If you look on LSU football's Twitter, I'm sure they have pictures of
But
Leonard.
I mean, so it was Fournette, it was Whitworth, there was Jamal Adams,
Everybody was up
Terrace
there.
Marshall.
Jesus.
I mean,
Invited everybody to the
Jalen
party.
Collins.
Just crapped all over yourself, dude. Like that episode of SpongeBob when he rips his pants. Became
There it
a
is.
big old joke. Try not to sneeze. Okay, let me see these pants. We're gonna break real quick.
All right,
here
because they're
thinking,
kind of
like-
crazy, and I don't feel like you can wear pants like this if you've been spotted at a Diddy party.
What? Wait, what are they? It's just those are just like khakis.
You got to zoom in a little bit, Tay.
Or is that money? What
They
does it
say
say?
sex on them.
Yeah, they do. Look at that.
Put it on the
I'm
TV
sitting
screen
here
so Taylor.
and I had like a whole conversation with him, and I didn't even notice that
He went out on the field like that
as a guest captain.
as a captain. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. You're right. Odd look after some of the Diddy pictures for sure. Well,
Still better than the like SpongeBob pajamas Travis Hunter did that interview in.
I don't know.
somebody had sex Saturday night. I don't think it was LSU, at least not by choice, because I was feeling like Meek after that game. All right, let's go to break. When we get back, close out hour 2 of OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com is the website. The website's an excellent resource for, sorry, it's like a live surgery going on television right now. Distract me. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge is an excellent resource for, well, the website is for looking at all the great deals that they have going down. You can just go see them off of Airline and Goodwood. It's very conveniently located. You can talk to the sales staff, see what's there on site, test drive, try some things out. Maybe you're in the market for like a luxury SUV. The Sequoias are amazing. Maybe you're in the market for join me in the minivan gang, the MVG. I cannot brag enough about how much I've enjoyed owning not one, but two Toyota Siennas. That's right. The minivan's so nice, I bought it twice. So go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
If you want to go to Gainesville, Florida, take out your anger on the Gators this weekend, you can rent a Toyota, drive down there and watch the Tigers play, and you can do it at All-Star Toyota, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
Welcome back to more sports talk with some other stuff mixed in. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant
What up, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We're still going to get to the football weekend as a whole. We got weekend winners coming up at 9 a.m. Cutter Harris tried drinking every time T-Bob says a cuss word or whiskey and wine post game. You won't live through it. Again, I mean, come on, guys. Are we surprised here? That's the show. That's the show.
Is there cursing on that show?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Brent Simino, we're gonna run the ball, then a bunch of crying emojis. Yeah. It's hard to escape. Hard to escape that
I
one.
would not mind a good old 48-49 horn boss. But I just don't think it's going to happen. It is. I mean, again, I talked about it already in the show. It is frustrating not to be able to line up and impose your will through the run game on your opponent when this has always kind of been a place. Like, even when LSU was bad, like in the 90s, like you still had Kevin Falk and Rondell Mealy, and those teams got better because of those guys. But you know what I mean? Like you had Cecil Collins. So even when you were, down to what the standard is now, you still were going to run the football.
Yeah.
Then you had Toefield and Dominic Davis, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we could go back in the history, right? So it is, and again, I'm obviously biased towards that position, but we lined up, everybody knew what we were doing, right? Our offense wasn't very dynamic in that way.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, well, you know it, I know it, we all know it, but I'll be damned if we're not going to pick up 4 or 5 yards here.
Yeah, man. I don't know why. Yeah. I just don't know how the run blocking is so poor. It's so poor, especially when the pass blocking can be so good, so elite, but just nothing. Again, I think okay. So whatever. We need to turn the page. We talk about the game. Everything is going to be defined by what you do next. Okay? Like that is going to be, I think, a greater commentary and sign on the overall health and direction of the program than maybe anything else. You have suffered 2 absolute haymakers in a row, and, well, quite frankly, it's knocked you out, right, of the playoffs, at least. And are you going to let it ruin the rest of your season? Do you let it snowball? Do you fold in the face of adversity, or do you find a way to fight and finish strong? Because those are elements that transcend current roster construction. Those are elements that transcend, a player's injured here, a player's injured there. Like that, those elements speak to character. Character is created through culture. Culture is created through process. These are things that Brian Kelly espouses, that he holds dear, that he says the very makeup of the program. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Again, it's an awful spot because there's not a win on there that's going to make you happy. Only losses that will infuriate you, but it doesn't mean those games don't have to be won nonetheless, because they absolutely do. And, well, what are you going to do? It starts now. Watch this film, digest it, fix where you need to get it fixed, and then get ready to come back and lock in and go to the swamp and beat Billy Napier. You know who never disappoints? Trash Rangers. Go to trashrangers.com. If you live in Livingston or Ascension, you actually have a choice in who does your residential trash pickup. You can go to Trash Rangers. You get reliable, hassle-free trash removal. Remember, they do great. Like, indicative of the customer service is the fact that they text you the night before it's your night, so you never forget to put out your cans again. Your stupid nagging husband off your back, finally. And if you're a business owner and you need front-load dumpsters emptied up to 6 days a week, we understand the flexible needs of businesses. We're one ourselves. Go to trashrangers.com. Make switch today. Trash Rangers.
Off the bench.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Monday, November 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 83 in hour 3 of today's show. We'll have weekend winners at 9 a.m. and then Devin Snow hops on the show at 9:15. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, hour number 3. All right, no more sad boys allowed. F the Falcons, okay? F the Gators. Sorry, CJ McCollum. Who did the Pelicans play? I don't know. Pelicans have not exactly inspired confidence here at the beginning. But, Jake, I see you felt tipping over there. Are you working on anything in particular?
Not that you care about.
Okay. What is this, flag football?
Yep, trying to see.
Wow. I believe it is championship week, though, correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And so, I coach 2 teams.
Yep.
And
let's hope you know. Let's hope there's not questions about your process at the end of this week. Big proving grounds this week for Hester.
It's I'm going to have to miss some of the games with one of the teams I'm the head coach. The other one I just call the plays. And so with the older team, this is our last hoorah together. We've been together since kindergarten. And so that's the team. So I'm going to have to miss some of the games. I'm trying to figure out how many I'm going to have to miss and if we win, all this.
A man cannot serve 2 masters, okay? Jesus tried to tell you. Here you are, look at you, hubris, trying to fly too close to the flag football sun. Best of luck this week. Best of luck to all the flag football homies. I hope you win your games.
We could have a Flynn McCormick situation, by the way.
Going head to head. I was wondering if there were any friend on friend violence potentially in play here.
The friend on friend, though, honestly, it's not that bad. It's like, because you're like, yeah, okay, like at the end of the day, but it's like,
that seems like a regular season attitude. I wonder how it's going to feel.
That's true.
When you get eliminated in the tournament, when it matters, when rotations shrink, when all of a sudden Larry ain't getting to play this game, Mom. Sorry, elimination's on the line, okay?
Oh, Larry.
Sorry, Larry was a kid from my little league team that used to just drive my dad absolutely insane. And so he's always been like and he didn't really want to play. His like parents were making him. I just remember my dad always going, Larry! so mad from the sideline. Shout out Larry. I don't know what you're doing nowadays. I hope it's all good.
I bet Larry's very successful for some reason. I just felt Larry
probably because he's not an athlete and he didn't want to play and his parents were making him. Whatever. Shout out Larry. Shout out Nutcracker, guys. Get your tickets for the Nutcracker, by the way. Just Google Baton Rouge Nutcracker. You'll find it quite easily. Remember, buy tickets from the actual site. Be wary of those secondhand sites. They can jack up your price. I think I'm going to be on the Saturday performances this time, guys. Okay? So, Taylor, if you want to come support me, buy your tickets for Saturday.
When does that start?
It is in about a month. Almost exactly a month. I think it's like the 14th and 15th, something along those lines. Whatever the weekend around that time would be. Rehearsals are going great, though.
You already started?
Oh, bro, we've been doing it for a couple months now.
Months?
Yeah, probably. Starting
You didn't mention
October.
it not once.
Yeah, you started in October.
I don't remember him saying
You never said anything about this.
Guys,
really?
T-Bob won to brag. I mean, come on.
Thank you.
He's not gonna rub it in anybody's
He always
now, he
leads
played
in with
Party
not
Dad
to brag.
perfection, but you know.
Thank you, Taylor.
You also are same role again this year, right?
Yes.
Or I didn't know if you changed colors.
No. It's a good question by you. Yes. And is there some creative disappointment in that? Absolutely. But it is also nice kind of feeling a bit like a vet. Although I do think I'm going to have to really lock in this next month because I do think it's causing me to maybe be a bit flippant. At this point last year, I was practicing probably like multiple hours a week in my garage by myself. I've yet to do a home practice yet this season.
But you got it down.
I know. But pride comes before the fall. Like, yes, I can have things down technically, but there's infinite room for improvement. So I'm saying this publicly to put pressure on myself. I'm going to recommit, and I will practice at home at least 3 nights this week.
You're definitely not committed because you haven't said it not once to us, not even off air.
I thought
I'm just shocked by this.
I thought we knew that rehearsals had been going down for a while.
You're good. Well, because again,
I got a fresh new crop of kids. I got one new wife, one old wife back, so that's nice. It still remains the most fun part of my week. There's no better way to forget about any football frustrations than heading to the studio for rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's the absolute best 2 hours I spend every single week. I'm very excited.
Well, don't think of it as like I wanted a different role and their man could be play Purple Party Dad again. Like, think of it as like nobody wants to play the Joker after Heath Ledger did it.
It's true.
It's just a hard role to follow.
How could you possibly? That's a great. Taylor, you're cooking this hour. I'm not going to lie. You're off to a very strong start this hour. This is maybe the most proud of you I've been in your radio career up to this point. Here's to hoping that you can keep it up. If you can't keep it up, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Go to Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness today. And look, forget about ED, forget about low T, forget about HE. Like the bottom, it says it right there on the site, don't settle for your mediocre sex life. Like, it can be better, guys. Like, we can maximize our potential. I don't care your age. We have actual science now to combat these things, and we customize it to you and your body's needs and what your body's telling our experts it needs. And then look, there's transparent, affordable pricing, privacy. Like, stop feeling bad. Okay. Take the first step. Book a consult today, yourgoodwood.com. I met some of the homies from Goodwood on campus this weekend. Bruh, this girl was one of the funniest people I've ever met. I've super, super great connection immediately off the bat. Indicative of why Goodwood is so awesome. Get it? Indicative. Yourgoodwood.com. All right, let's do a little weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
All right, who wants to kick us off today?
I'll go first.
All right, go for it.
Weekend winner, Indiana. They did not cover, but you know what they did? They won the football game against the Michigan Wolverines. Bro. Michigan coming to town, tricky spot. They handle it yet again. They do not care if they covered the 14-point spread. They wanted to win this game, and they want to be undefeated when they go to Columbus to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. So it continues to be one of the best stories in sports. A team that's lost more games than anybody in FBS history is right now 10-0, 7-0 in the Big Ten, and they're going to have an opportunity, even if they lose against Ohio State.
Bro, they're in the playoff
to make the college football playoff.
They're in the. It's something like a 90% chance now they beat Michigan that they're in the playoff.
Yeah, because their final game's against their rival Purdue, and that game's at home.
There has never been If Will Campbell's quote is the worst preseason quote of all time, Signetti's "I win, Google me" is easily the best preseason quote of all time.
I agree.
This man took over the losingest program in college football and is 10-0. And Jake, a legitimate 10-0. This is a good team.
Yeah.
Full stop. We can't and winning in multiple different ways. Like the offense came out hot Saturday, and that very good Michigan defense ends up kind of starting to shut them down. They leave some stuff on the table, but the Indiana defense comes out to play and ends up closing out that game. Yeah, massive win in front of the home crowd. Shout out Sig. Shout out the Hoosiers. What a time! What a time! Now they're very, very senior laden, Jake.
Yeah,
I'm going to be very interested to see how they replace it. I do know this though. Indiana has the largest alumni base in the entire country, I think. They're either first or second. They got a ton of money. He's creating a ton of investment. How hard can they attack the portal and restock for next year? Because, look, everybody's a basketball school until you win in football. It's just the God's honest truth. And I'm going to be interested to see if Sig and Indiana can parlay this into a longer tail success. All right, Alondra, what you got?
Okay, so, LSU football, a little bit of a rough weekend, but I'm very, very excited for how LSU baseball is looking. So let's do a little LSU baseball weekend winner.
Okay.
They played at ULL yesterday. They played 2 games there. They split them, but in the first game, our guy, Bear Jones, has a grand slam.
Let's go.
Also had a home run in that inning.
Let's go.
Michael Braswell had a home run in that game, and also Chris Stanfield had a home run as well. So,
Bear's looking as thick as ever, Bo. Look at that
Gorilla
thing.
Ball looks like it's going to keep going, and I'm just very excited for baseball season to see the pitching went
I just
well
want to
this
Chase
weekend.
Shores.
Yeah.
I just want to Chase Shores 6'10". In my head, every time I mention his height, I just add an inch. In my head now, Chase Shores is 6'10".
Yeah.
6'10", 280.
Yeah.
And throws gas. Taylor.
Weekend winner.
See if you can keep up your hot streak.
This cop's jawline.
Whoa!
I want you guys to look at this.
My
real quick.
God.
He is a Tennessee State trooper. He's like the state troopers that Brian Kelly has that guards the coaches. I believe he's been doing this since 2010. He went viral. Old Row posted it. College football, any college football page posted it over the weekend. He the biggest jawline I think I have ever seen on a cop in my life. I could not decide
No,
who
a cop
he
on
looked
a
like,
human. It's Quagmire.
until I found it. I believe he looks like Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog. So I went ahead and did a side-by-side of both of those guys. So shout out. I don't know the cop's name, but incredible jawline. He is a weekend winner for sure.
I was thinking of the guy from the Pop-It commercials, if anybody remembers those back in the day. But this Eustace is pretty incredible. Also, I don't think that police officer can see where he's going.
Right.
His hat
incredibly
is
low.
His hat is tilted like all the way. Like how? There's no way he can actually see what's in front of him.
He doesn't have to watch out for you. You have to watch out for him.
That's true. That chin leads the way.
There you
Lead
go.
with your chin, guys, and the heart will follow. Weekend winner, BYU. Weekend loser, Utah's AD. Do you have that last link I put in there, Taylor? Can we play that with sound? So BYU, Utah, Holy War. BYU, undefeated season on the line, down 21-10 in one of the most hostile environments you'll find in the entire country. And they got to go. They got the ball, last possession. They're deep in their own territory, and Utah's pass rush is cooking him. Next thing you know, it's 4th and 11. They came up with a sack. Utah's celebrating. They've won the game. It's a sack, right? Wrong. Called defensive holding on the outside. And the announcers kept telling us it was a really good call, but there's actually like no good camera angle. It's very far away. But it would be frustrating nonetheless, because after that penalty, BYU goes down. They end up kicking a game-winning field goal. But Utah's AD was in his feels after the game. Here he is.
Years, this game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight.
Damn, son.
You better get fined.
Not pulling any punches. Also, like, why would the Big 12 hate Utah?
Yeah.
I guess they just want to put BYU over, he's saying?
I guess he's trying to say BYU because they, their playoff opportunity.
Yeah, but I'm saying it didn't really change their playoff opportunity if they lose. The Big 12's only getting one team in. They're not getting two. The winner of the Big 12 will get in no matter what.
I guess the only way they get two is if it's Colorado BYU in the championship game. It's a close game. Colorado wins. They get the automatic bid. Maybe.
I thought that with Miami. I don't. Not in a world where it looks like we're going to have 17, 10-2 SEC teams.
You know what? And what's wild is a lot of people thought it with Miami, and you shouldn't have because of who they actually had beaten on their resume. BYU has one of the better wins in the country on the road against SMU.
But I mean, I know, but I think like the brands and like Cam Moore and everything would have played.
That's not how this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
BYU has a better resume than Miami did. Now Miami lost, so holla at your boy. That's another weekend winner. Georgia Tech, Ramblin' Wreck.
Why are we so mad at Miami, dude? That's Coach O, baby. Come on now. We can't bail off the U, dude.
I'm just comparing resumes.
Yeah.
BYU had a better resume than Miami. And you're right. If Miami would have gone through that situation, lost a close ACC championship game, probably to SMU, the team BYU beat, they would have got the benefit of the doubt. BYU probably would not have.
Yeah.
And again, BYU's resume is better than Miami's. And you can't even argue it.
Watching Georgia Tech was like seeing an old friend. Hadn't thought about it. We had a really great party weekend like a few months ago. Hadn't really thought about him since. And I'm like, look, there's 44. With the neck roll. Oh,
That's
hell
right.
yeah. Oh, is that Haynes King? Oh, look at little Malik Rutherford running around there. Little number 8. Little water bug. Shout out Georgia Tech. How about that? Beating Miami a second year in a row, but beating Miami and FSU in the same year.
Yep.
My final weekend winner, and you can go on Coach Dan Casey's Twitter and see this. Army football just posted as well. Army had a 21-play, 94-yard drive that used 13 minutes and 54 seconds of possession. I've never heard of such an insane drive. And, shout out to him. I mean, that's just amazing.
Happy Veterans Day, too.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Veterans Day, absolutely.
Happy late birthday to the Marine Corps.
Yep.
I saw a lot of great posts on the Marine Corps birthday yesterday. 21 plays, 94 yards. 14 minutes TOP. Insanity.
And now we get an undefeated Army Black Knight team going against an 8-1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish team in the Bronx in Yankee Stadium coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Don't know how that's going to play out, but excited for Army that they have the opportunity to go try to pull off the major upset. If they win that game, they're ahead of Boise State for me.
Who, Army?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You would be shocked how many people think the opposite.
I know they won yesterday, but I got to give a quick weekend loser to Derek Carr for what he said after the game on Sunday, shouting out Dennis Allen. He said that the city deserves a winner and then shouted out a loser. Has absolutely no way to gauge the temperature. Can't read the room.
He's not reading the room.
Cannot read
His
the room.
heart's in the right place. He's not reading the room.
I'm done with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Quick final weekend winner.
You're
for
probably
me.
already done,
I was
so I
already
don't know if that
done,
means
and
anything, but yeah.
He's like extra done.
I feel it.
He's well done.
Quick final weekend
Stop shouting
winner.
out.
The Detroit Lions for me. They come back 23-7 down at halftime, come back and win it 26-23. But not only that, Jared Goff had been completing 74% of his passes, leading the league in completion percentage, not turning the ball over. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions yesterday, and the Detroit Lions came back and won this game. Yeah. At the end of the third quarter.
7 total, right?
7 total. C.J. Stroud threw 2.
That is so NFL that he's been so locked in.
Listen to what the Dan Campbell defense does, okay?
You go for 5 picks.
They're down 23-7. Goff throws his 4th pick. Then what happens? C.J. Stroud gets the ball, interception, 3 and out, another interception. That was the 3 straight possessions for the Texans. The defense stepped up in a big way for the Lions, and they overcame 5 interceptions from Jared Goff to win that game. They are now 8-1 on the season, so weekend winner, the Detroit Lions.
God, every single person that made fun of Dan Campbell's, introductory press conference, and I sat there and I was like, God, I love every bit of this. And you know who you are. Look at him now. Turns out that you can be mean, nasty, and tough and still find ways to win football games in different ways. And you all laughed at him when he said he's going to bite some kneecaps off. Well, they bite kneecaps off. You can't knock them out. That's their mentality. Yeah. That's their DNA. It is who they are. They know thyself. All right, so everybody made fun of all that. Just look at a game like this where they throw 5 picks and you couldn't knock them out because they're not going to stop. Yeah. They ain't giving up.
No.
That's going to be a hard team to get out of the playoffs. It was a year ago.
Weekend winner, I think you got to say Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, but I'm going to say specifically that Ole Miss defense, which when they're locked in, they are among the best in the country. How's this? So remember, Ole Miss starts this game throwing a pick, and then Georgia scores a touchdown immediately. Here's the rest of Georgia's drives for the game. Punt, 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 field goal, fumble, interception, fumble, downs. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy that we live in a world where Ole Miss is beating Georgia with that level of defensive dominance. Weekend winner, Lane.
Honestly, look, that's why, for LSU is like, okay, well, maybe this team can go do the things that we thought because that Ole Miss defense, and you figured them out in the second half and the plays that you made and the 4th downs that you converted. So, yeah, it's been a good defense.
All right, when we get back, hold the mail. Coming up next, keep it locked. OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to main event. That's right, baby. Main event. You would have a great time with the kids, the family, birthday parties, maybe a corporate party. You got some sort of hit like a big sales goal or a milestone or something you want to celebrate. Maybe you're it's a good morale builder, okay? A holiday party. Why don't you get in touch by going to mainevent.com? And don't worry, we have dedicated event planners ensuring that everything runs smoothly. We have professional level bowling. We have thrilling multi-level laser tag arena, over 100 arcade games, drinks, newly revised menu for food. Go to mainevent.com today. That's mainevent.com.
Remember, you can do so many different things. You can book that party. You can book your corporate event, like all those things T-Bob said. But you can just go eat dinner and have fun with the family as well. You can go bowling, or maybe you want to play games after dinner. And there is something for everybody, right? Anybody and everybody can have a good time over at Main Event. Go to the website today, mainevent.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
Welcome back, y'all. It's time for some spread lines.
You go. Let's head down to New Orleans. Live from Spread Quarters, this is Spread Lines with Devin Snow.
Yeah, I'm live. What's up, Dev? What's happening, bruh? Hey, how about it? F the Falcons,
Let's go. How about it?
In a year of failure, there's nothing better than beating the Birds. How we feeling in game 1 of the Rizzler era?
Oh, we rizzed up, bro. We rizzed up. I mean, this guy's so good. He's got Peyton Turner playing like Reggie White. You know what I'm saying? Like everything looks good, man. That was an impressive performance by Rizzy.
So let me ask you. Well, actually, no. Before we get into that big picture crap, favorite part about yesterday with the post game, everything. What was the temperature of the fan base? What was everybody? What was the thing that had everybody most excited yesterday?
Rizzy on the sideline. Rizzy on the sideline interacting with the players. As hyped up as any player on the field.
Yeah, true.
And we coming from a guy that just looked at an iPad the whole game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rizzy don't even know what an iPad is. Like he don't even use an iPad. So it was Rizzy on the sideline, man. It was the energy. And that's, look, people can say what they want. I think vibes matter. I really do.
Yeah.
It may not be, a huge percentage, but it matters, and the vibes mattered yesterday.
Dev, what do you want to see from the Saints after this? Because obviously the Falcons, that's your biggest rival. There's no shot you wanted to lose that game. But as we look at the Saints season, you're 3-7. You have an opportunity, to maybe finally select a quarterback in the NFL draft. Like, what do you want to see?
So conflicted, dude, because
I know.
You know how this is. I mean, when you win a game, and first of all, when you just win a game, you start to feel optimistic, right? I'm not saying that the Saints are going to do anything, but it's hard for me to shift to like, oh, I can't wait to the draft. Yeah. It's just hard for me to do that. I'm more so worried about the coaching situation. So is this dude Rizzy going to be good for the rest of the season? Can he get us a winning record for the rest of the season? And then we can figure it out from there. But I don't know, man. I want to beat the Browns. I want the defense to pick Jameis off 3 times because I don't want to lose to Jameis. Love him to death.
It's true.
Don't want to lose to him.
It's true.
Not in the dome. I want to get the dome back. That would be another thing.
Yeah.
Dev, you make good points, man, and maybe you're helping me figure this out in my own head because I do think I'm guilty of maybe becoming a bit too draft focused and losing, a mantra that I've always felt, which is enjoy the journey. Football seasons are so rare. We don't get many of them. There aren't many games in each season. And the second you completely write off a season, well, then it's like, well, what are we doing? You're going to sit there for 8 months again, just dying and hoping and begging and pleading for more football to be watched. So I think you've solved it, right? I'm going to enjoy the journey, let the chips fall where they may, and then we'll react to whatever that is. What do you think about Carr's post-game comments saying, shout out DA, the guy who built this thing up?
What do you expect? I mean, this guy, he can't get it right. Not even in a win can he get it right. It was gross, bro. It was right up there when Dennis Allen apologized. It was like same type, vibe. Like, dude, the first thing that comes out your mouth. And then my favorite part was he said, "Hey, Rizzy will say it too." And I watched the Rizzy press conference. Rizzy didn't mention Dennis Allen. So he's so disconnected. It's scary, bro.
That
Think about that. He said, Rizzy will say it first thing. Or he said something like that. Rizzy didn't talk about Dennis Allen. Where are you?
Like, anything that was brought in by Dennis Allen, he was there a long time as a coordinator and as a head coach. Like, anything that was brought in by him, though, like, it has to go. Like, I think it has to go. I'm sorry, I don't even care, like, who you are. Like, it almost has to go if you were somebody that was there with him, certainly like in the totality of his tenure.
I mean, Underhill's headline of his game write-up on New Orleans Football right now is how the Saints threw away their old pass rush plan and let the defense eat with a new approach.
Yeah, and you saw, dudes were getting more snaps too. I feel like Cam Jordan got more snaps. I feel like Peyton Turner definitely got more snaps. That goes back to the whole Dennis Allen kind of being too careful with guys, whatever that method is. I don't know. I'll never be able to understand it. But, like, he very selectively played guys, and it was weird. And look at yesterday. Dudes were playing.
They were. Now, obviously, rivalry game, interim bump. I am fascinated to see if they can go out here and win more NFL games because, Dev, this is a collection of misfits heretofore unseen on an NFL football field. I mean, I cannot believe the guys that were making plays yesterday because I never heard of half the guys that were making plays yesterday. The only reason I know about MVS is because he was on the Chiefs. And look at him. I mean, catching deep balls? What? Things that are supposed to take timing? Like, it's again, I don't know how much you can carry forward, but undeniably yesterday was an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and look, even like a guy like Will Harris, like that dude's a good football player. Will Harris, like that dude made a difference.
He played all 78 plays. Will Harris did. To your point, Dev, you look at some of the charts, like Cam Jordan played 42 plays. He's been playing like 19.
Yeah.
18,
19 plays.
Crazy.
Peyton Turner played 32. Hell, you got to put together like his entire career sometimes to find 32 snaps.
32 snaps, it's half a year. Peyton just logged half a year in one
crazy.
game. Good job, dude.
Yeah. Brian Brzee played 46. He kind of been spot duty guy.
Let's go PT. What, did Dennis Allen just hate the D-line?
Sounds like it.
I think he just thought too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll see over time how much this plays.
I do love Rizzy though, man. He's electric. I'm not saying, hey, that's our coach, yada yada yada, but that dude's electric, bro. I haven't seen nothing like that since like early Sean Payton.
Where do you is there anything else, Dev, from the sporting weekend that captured your interest? Because obviously LSU, disastrous Saturday night. The Pelicans get dominated by the Magic. They're now 3-7. Things feel pretty bad overall in the state right now.
Yeah, well, Tulane.
Yeah, true. Tulane. Wait, they didn't lose, right? Because they're awesome right now.
They killed Temple.
Okay, let's go.
They got their next 2 games, and I guess 3 when you consider the conference championship. Dude, they play Navy at Navy. That's going to be
a big one.
That's such an important game. And then they go play Memphis at home. Dude, they need Boise State to lose.
I was going to say, bro, we need to start cheering for a Boise loss and an Army loss, and let's put Tulane over the top.
Well, if Tulane would have beat K-State.
I know. But if Boise has 2 losses, Tulane should jump them.
If they do.
If they win the conference championship. Now, Army might be tougher to overcome. I don't know.
They play San Jose State.
I
They
think
play
Wyoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oregon State maybe could clip them, but then in the Mountain West Championship game right now, it would be Colorado State.
What? Is Colorado State any good this year?
They're 6-3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Oregon State's getting smashed.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good. But anyway, I mean.
So that's what we have. Shout out Tulane. I agree. Hell yeah. I know ULM had a rough weekend this weekend, but they've been good.
Yeah.
You know, shout out
God,
Coach
the
Brian
offensive
Vincent.
pass interference against Kansas State where they scored and they would have won the game if they didn't call it.
I know.
Tulane right now would be Boise.
I know. That's brutal. That's brutal. But you know what? Look, hey, we're not going to dwell on that. Tulane's got to finish this fight first, and then we can get to being upset about that if we have to.
I can't believe the Pelicans are 3-7.
I mean,
like
well,
the same record.
Okay, so this is the thing, though. This is the thing, though, Deb. While I understand how a sentence like that leaves your mouth, when we think about it, we absolutely can believe that. It's literally the same damn thing every single year. You get so excited for the beginning of the season, and they crap all over you. And then the whole rest of the year, you're like fighting, scratching, clawing. Ooh, they're right there. Like the 8th seed, the 9th seed, the blah, 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 blah. You can just never start good. It's so incredibly frustrating and predictable at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, injuries are ruining both franchises, the Saints and the but definitely the Pelicans. I mean, injuries are getting to the point to where, dude, nobody's going to go to the Pelicans game.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at least people with the Saints, like, they'll still go to the game. You saw yesterday, the place was still pretty packed. The Pelicans, I mean, they play on a Wednesday. Nobody's going to that stuff because they don't have nobody playing.
Well, yeah, there's not even like the NBA is always a league that at least people will go if it's just stars on the court. And you got a bunch of MVSs and Mark Austin. What's his name? I keep wanting to say Tavon Austin. What's his name? Kevin Austin. We got a bunch of I'm talking about
for the Pales. You got Brandon Boston Jr.
That's what I'm saying. That is the NBA equivalent of Mark Austin out here going for 3 for 38. Like, I don't know, man. Oster, get it together, dude.
Boston did score 26 though in the loss.
Hey, Boston's nice.
Yeah.
Boston's kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with, man. It's just it reminds me of when the Pelicans were playing guys like what was that lineup like 4 years ago? It was so bad, dude. It was like names you just never heard of.
Well, that's why we don't remember.
That's where we at already. It's not even 10 games in.
Was Snell a part of that lineup? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
I'll never.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. But hey, F the Falcons, dude. You know, walk in your trap, take over your trap. My ass, dirty birds.
Hey, and don't look quick. Looks like the Bucks are starting to lose a lot of games.
Yeah, I know. Dude, they're falling apart. They suck. 4-6.
That's weird though. They don't suck. They just can't find a way to win games.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been in all of them.
But that's the thing about the NFL, right, Jake? You know this probably better than we do, obviously. But I feel like you lose enough of those, it can break you.
It can.
And then you're like, oh wait, now we suck. We weren't a bad team, but now we are.
Yeah.
We'll see though. NFC South still very up in the air.
Trey Murphy might actually play tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are back.
Some good news. Zion will get reevaluated later. Which, dude, what?
I think. Are we done? Are we done with? Okay, Zeb. I know we got to go, but are we done with Zion?
I'm done with their get reevaluated. I'm pretty done with that.
Yeah.
I'm fed up. I'm fed up with it. I really am. And this is the first time I've really felt like maximum fed up with it.
Me too.
He just don't like to play all the games, dude.
No.
Just is what it is.
No. At a certain point, we just got to call a spade a spade. It is what it is.
Hopefully before the trade deadline. Hate to say it, but come on, man. Let's get somebody Dude, I'd like to get a good, healthy player. That's it. A good.
Just what a low bar. Just let's get a good, healthy player. Give me a solid 12-8 every night with 31 minutes. Play 78 of the 82 games. Let's go. All right, Deb. Where are we going for RB&R today? Celebrating.
I don't know. I'm under the weather, so I got a nasty cold. It's nasty. It's like 4 days long.
It's been going around. Londra's been dealing with that too.
Yeah, so I don't know. I might walk in a grocery store. I'm like, yeah, I'm sick. I might walk in the most populated place.
All right, Devil. Hey, keep up the great work. Go sub to Spread Quarters. It's incredible. atmsports.com/shop for all your merch needs. At Snow Like John on Twitter. Devin, thank you, man.
All right, y'all take care. Have a good one.
Holla, brah. All right, when we get back, more to be.
Off the bench.
Go to the Queen of Baton Rouge, your ultimate destination for football. I know a lot of y'all in the Queen yesterday watching that game, cheering on the black and gold, playing your player props, playing whatever you want. We almost had another big win on Thursday, guys. We just needed a few more raw yards from Lamar, and we'd be getting paid in, cash out. But hey, you know what it was? Fun. And that's what you're always going to have over there at the Queen of Baton Rouge. And so whether you want to go to the DraftKings Sportsbook, go gamble, go have a great meal at the 1717 Restaurant and Lounge, you want to play any casino games, it's all there downtown Baton Rouge, the Queen, BR.com.
Yeah, T-Bob laid it out there for you. I mean, so many different things to take full advantage of over at the newly renovated Queen. I mean, it'll blow you away. Like we talk about the Jack Daniel giveaway that's going to actually be tonight. That is going to be over there 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. So go check that out. You can check out the DraftKings Sportsbook Parlay Paydays as well, thequeenbr.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
Today's gonna be the day we lose to Alabama again. Welcome back. Happened.
they're gonna throw it back to you.
By
now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe
we talked about Leonard Fournette's pants earlier, which I still shocked. Like I'm sitting there in full-blown conversation, didn't notice it.
Are those sex pants?
He actually is getting a workout today with the Bengals.
I thought you were going to say the Saints.
No.
Shout out.
I was going to say the Cowboys, with Zeke and Dalvin Cook. I thought he was going to say the Cowboys.
Again, y'all just call K to Z. That's your bigger deal, Taylor. That's all you have to worry about. Let's look at the new AP Top 20. Yes, go ahead, Jane.
We have, I don't know what's going on in this building, but somebody is hitting something and this whole desk is shaking.
The room is actually literally shaking, and there is a deep and heavy pounding of metal going on.
You could probably hear it if we all hold on. Oh, it stopped as soon as I did.
Of course.
It sounds as if Optimus Prime is having sex with the building.
The whole building's shaking.
It actually feels.
If we
I don't
confirm
know
that
what
that's
is
not true.
going on. Jake just stepped outside.
That's what I figured.
They're jacking the street outside. There you go. I wonder what they're doing.
How well made is this building that it's shaking from what they're doing across the street?
I know.
By the way, hey, shout out this building. This building's cool, man. This building's old, weird as hell, haunted as hell. It has a lot
Nobody
of good
said
character.
it wasn't cool or haunted or great design.
It's got insanely odd architecture.
We were asking about the actual build of it because that's across the street. It's a small little jackhammer type situation.
It's not a big guy?
I mean, they got a small bulldozer over there. Not even like a bulldozer. I would call it more. What's the Bobcat?
A calf dozer?
Don't laugh at that.
That was pretty. I mean, that was good. Honestly, that was very good. You know what sucks about Saturday? I thought College Game Day was very fun. Until it wasn't. I thought it was a fantastic sign-off game day. I thought it was pretty cool too. One cool moment over the weekend. Maybe not the place to talk about now, but one cool moment of the weekend was Nick Saban finally getting to go in the football ops.
Yep.
The building that he designed 20 years ago, that was his brainchild and whatnot. And finally, it's so weird to think about that. Not being in there that entire time, and now 20 years later getting to go.
Jesus.
I mean,
again, I don't know that y'all can hear this. Just know it is
very
wildly distracting.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is wild in how prevalent it is to us here in this room.
When Coach Saban was here, right before he left, all those plans got okayed there, and actually it was supposed to have a nutrition center in it initially, and then when the new staff came there, they decided to go against the nutrition center. I don't really remember why. And so, now that it finally does have the nutrition center attached to it, that is kind of his final vision of the building, and he did design the initial building. Now it's changed twice since then, but still, I'm sure, pretty cool moment. And talking with people around him, he was very excited and thankful for the welcome that he got to Baton Rouge, because he said he wasn't really sure how it was going to go.
Even rocking the purple blazer. Dude.
Yeah,
we love to see it. I wish maybe he would have left DeBoer with a little less, Nick. That would have been great. But, how'd y'all think Paul and Livy did?
Livy had a line that was good.
Wait, she was like, somebody once said Vanderbilt was the hardest place to play. I was like, oh, okay, Livy.
Unfortunately, Vandy lost.
You can tell that Livy's a little more camera
100%
friendly than Paul is.
That was my whole point though. Whenever we were saying who do we want to be on College Game Day, I love Paul Skeens, but he's just not good on TV. Which is okay.
Yeah, which is fine. He doesn't have to be.
I don't mean it in a bad way. Yeah.
I still think it was a cool look for LSU to have them up there. Taylor, I saw you roll your eyes when I mentioned them. So please give me your take on why it was so bad.
I was thinking about when she said Livy got Saban. Saban got Paul too.
Oh,
yeah,
I missed it. What did he say?
was like, I did my homework on all this, and Saban's like, that's the first time you've done homework since you've been out of LSU. It was a good one.
It was good.
Saban's showing a little bit more personality. Like it comes out a little bit more.
Got all
it comes
of
out.
that.
Well, I'm saying it's coming out a little bit more.
No, but
he's
Taylor's right.
always had
But he's
personality
getting
like that.
Oh
though.
yeah, but he's getting better at delivering it
Yeah.
and showing it
First
on
couple
air.
weeks,
every
he was
single
still
week.
that was
like,
always
speak
like
a little bit, you know?
the misconception of him was like he was always angry guy, and I told people like 15 years ago, however long, 20 years ago, like if you did things the right way, if you showed up on time, if you did your work, if you studied your tape, if you did all the things that literally you're supposed to do, like he was great. He was never going to yell, cuss, scream. Like if you got it, it was always a place of you knew where it was coming from. He would share those jokes, and so like I'm not surprised that like every time that he continues on down the road, he's going to continue to get better and better because like he's got a great personality.
OTB closing out the show next.
Off the bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. It is true. A lot of people talking about Pat McAfee getting the STTDB chanted, but Saban does love to drop a little SHIT on air as well. And if you drop one, maybe too many ones in your toilet and it gets clogged, broken some way, go to centralplumbing.org. 925-8552. Can't make this stuff up, guys. I'm just a professional. And, well, when it comes to plumbing, I'm not. That's Central Plumbing. So hit them up today, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Don't think twice. Okay, licensed, bond insured, flat rate pricing, great warranty coverage, centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, you're right. Like, leave it to the professionals. Like, there's things I can do around the house that I feel confident in doing. Plumbing is just not going to be one of them. It is something that is for the professionals. And so if you have a situation, if you're the Saints head coach and you clog your toilet before the game, who do you call to get it unclogged? Central Plumbing, 225-925-8552.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a
Maybe. Off the bench.
Welcome back. Ask the Bench, right about Cold Curse Live. Busy hotels are Blue Moon Lights, guys, such a sweet. Ask the Bench, are we still grease or did Bama use grease? They did not.
They did not. Yeah,
they did not.
No grease.
That's definitely a no lube game. Ask the Bench, do the Saints have Riz now? They had it, at least for a night, right? You know, everybody has that one night in their life where they've just been in the zone. You know, maybe they're flirting with someone or got to hook up with someone that's way hotter than them or that you normally wouldn't have the confidence to do so. Like, whatever. The Saints had it for a night, if nothing else. When is T-Bob's meeting with HR? Joke's on you. I am HR.
Yeah, right. Why? What'd you do?
I'm in charge of HR. Nothing. I just did a normal whiskey and wine show. Chugging 4 mezcals at the beginning of the show was a bit of an aggressive launching point, but it was an aggressive game. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Well, T-Bob admitted it was a mistake to cut his hair before the Bama game. Of all of the superstitious things to tie the loss to, I don't think the hair trim is the one. Ask the Bench. Why does OTB hate dogs? We don't. I think they want us to say rest in peace to Ben Herbstreit.
See, I can't even think about it, though, because it makes me really sad. That's how much I love dogs.
Did we talk about this Friday?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I literally told Herbie in person.
Game day wasn't until
that,
Saturday.
Obviously, like his loss. And
I do hate dogs, and I told Herbie, I'm like, I don't care. Said I'm happy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of jacked up.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of my whole deal. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Was it a bad idea to chub mezcal, start whiskey and wine? No, I think it was a perfectly appropriate idea. I don't know, dude. You did that entire show is riding the line. I never know what's bad or good. Wasn't that last touchdown embarrassing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No quit, though. All right, whatever. We'll do another show tomorrow. Holla.
Off the bench.
Go to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, there for you when you need them. Get Gordon and get it done. You can go on getgordon.com. You can see all the different cases they handle. If you want to fill out a free consult form right there, see results from past customers. Follow them on social media, too, at Get Gordon, where you can see a lot of great content with your favorite athletes. I don't know. Gordon's just actually, like, legitimately funny. You should see some of the videos on there and see what I'm talking about. But the bottom line, you need somebody to stand up the insurance company. You want to get Gordon.
GetGordon.com is the website where you can have a chat with them right there on the homepage. See what they can do for you in the courtroom. If you have a question, though, you can also pick up the phone. Your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.